Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Grand Prix Virtual World Championship Sim Racing 2021 Super League season. We are here at the Shanghai International Circuit in China for 56 laps of the best R-Factor 2 sim racing you are going to see worldwide tonight. I'm Jake Sanson. Beside me is Tom Parker. It's definitely getting interesting in the championship fight. After only 2 races, things are mighty close in the championship standings. So we're going to get ourselves underway very shortly indeed for qualifying. It will obviously be a very exciting battle for the top spot in qualifying. Obviously, we are 2 races in to this championship. The race 3 is about to get underway. The battle has already been very intense indeed in the calendar. We've already had the Australian and Bahrain rounds of the championship. Liam Duval and Yannick Bock are our race winners up to this point. It's China today. 2 weeks from now, of course, we will head to the Bud circuit in India for the first time in 8 seasons. Azerbaijan and Austria will be next on the calendar, from the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve to the Silverstone race circuit in Great Britain, then to Hockenheim and Magny-Cours, another race circuit that we are welcoming the return of. Then, of course, the legendary classics, Spa-Francorchamps and Monza. Then to Marina Bay on the streets of Singapore, Suzuka in Japan, Austin in the United States of America, before finishing off at the Sao Paulo circuit in Brazil. It is going to be a very busy season. And of course, as we head into round 3 of this year's 2021 Super League Championship, boy, are we in for a show. It's going to be very unpredictable again to figure out who is going to be at the top spot. What we really wanted coming into 2021 was an open playing field and a very competitive season. We're certainly going to get that in 2021. And it's definitely going to be a hectic day on the circuit here at Shanghai. A lot of tricky race corners here, particularly tough to get the setup right, because you've got the balance of long, fast straights with tight, twisty complexes. It will be an interesting one in terms of setup. The smartest, as well as the fastest, will be the ones that get on well here. As we said before at the top of the bill, I'm Jake Sanson. Beside me is Tom Parker in the broadcast direction room. It is, of course, Argo Teder, and we are ready to bring you all of the coverage of this 3rd round of the championship. Difficult to predict, Tom, coming into this one, who is going to be setting the pace as qualifying is underway.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Obviously, for Richard Gorby leads the driver standings as we speak. Yet to actually win a race this season. Got two third places so far. We've also had 2 different winners from the opening 2 races. So yeah, hard to tell who's going to be in pole position at the end of this qualifying session. But I'm very, very excited to be find out who's going to be there.
So we've obviously had 2 race winners already coming into the season, namely, of course, Liam Duval at the Australian Grand Prix, and then 2 weeks ago, it was Yannick Bock who hit the top spot after an absolute thriller at the Sakhir circuit in Bahrain. Today, things could be very interesting indeed. And as always, it's the game of musical chairs in the GPVWC Super League. We always seem to get a different race grid from one race to the next. Of course, we had the interesting absence in the first round of the championship of last year's champion, Adam Maguire. He is, of course, back in the car again for the remainder of the season, having only missed the first round. But there is a little bit of musical chairs this time, Tom.
Yeah, so Jukka Lalo is back in the Scuderia Basilio car in place of Alex, I believe. It's not going to be a permanent change, but I know that Alex has had to step back from the car on a permanent basis. So Scuderia Basilio are looking for a permanent driver, and Fabio Sixter is still, I believe, got a blown up PC. So we're still waiting for his. We still have only 27 cars on the grid as we speak. I know Cedar Bike may have another car before the end of this session, but I know they didn't last time, so fingers crossed they can field the last car. Other than that,
with 12 minutes to go in the qualifying session, we do have some time while we're waiting for the cars to get up to speed to discuss the major talking point that came out of the last round of the championship. And it's going to be an interesting race, because obviously we have this slight interesting, I don't know how we describe this one, Tom. There's a little bit of an interesting technology discussion that's brewing at the moment, isn't there? About a particular kind of software that perhaps may have been utilized or might be utilized. So the Grand Prix Virtual World Championship organizers have already taken steps to eliminate any possibility that illicit software could be used.
So obviously, if you do follow us on your Discord, if you go to the DC announcements, obviously in the last week or so, Rob Mason, head of DC, has announced that Motec obviously the primary logger that we use here in GPVWC, will be enforced from round 3, so therefore from today until further notice. Obviously, this is because, as you've said, there have been some accusations of teams that compete in GPVWC. I don't know personally the exact teams that have been involved, but I've been using an illegal software to modify some inputs, which is obviously against the rules. If you want to have a quick look at the rules, they are also in the pin messages in the DC announcements thread. But yes, the top 5 drivers in the championship at the start of every event, plus the top 10 finishers of the race must, and that is a key must, submit their logs at the end of the race. If you do not submit your logs, quite simply put, you will be disqualified. Simple as. And yeah, it's got to be submitted to Rob, head of DC, by midnight of the day of the race. That's a midnight UK time, as we run at the UK time. And like I said, for me, failure to submit logs will result in a DQ from the event. And anyone caught to be using illegal aids will be, quite frankly, banned. It's clear, black and white. Any competitor found to be using unauthorized software will be immediately banned from GPWC, disqualified from all results during the calendar year to date, and have all of their points removed from their license.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got to discuss this a little bit briefly, though, haven't we? Because of course, I guess this is the essential. This is what esports can do, essentially, to make it a fair playing field, and this is what we have to do, I guess, as the Honest as organisers of a racing championship. I mean, you have scrutineering in real-world motor racing. You have to do it as well in esports. It must be all the way through a level playing field.
And at the end of the day, we want fairness, like you said. We want it to be competed on a level playing field. And unfortunately, some people have been taking that, well, not been paying attention to that, and obviously been using, and like I said, it's not been in GPVWC as far as we know. Nothing has come, no suspicious activities occurred, but obviously, I can't say that for 100% certain, but obviously this being introduced now will hopefully ease those worries, and obviously everyone's going to be, because everyone in the top 10 of finishers has to use it. I mean, yeah, hopefully we'll have clean racing and for the foreseeable future.
That's what we all want to see. 9 minutes left of the qualifying session. For the record, at the moment, the top spot is currently taken by David Fidek. Well, we certainly turned back the clock a few years to start things off with, which is great to see. Now, it really is good to see that they're fresh out of the block, the Epic Racing team, with David Fidek straight up to the top of the timesheets. There are, of course, a few drivers still to go. This man is one of them, and he's going purple in both of the first sectors. Right Kilk of the Red Archer Racing team. And they have definitely to show their epic hand in this championship. They've had flashes of speed so far, Tom, but this could be the race where Red Archer really showcase what they're made of.
Yeah, Right Kill was on for a great result, wasn't he, last time out? Made a bit of a boo-boo on the strategy. Went for a 3-stop rather than a 2, and really did cost him a lot when he came out in traffic, if you remember rightly. So, yeah, fingers crossed, obviously, today's going to be a bit less clear-cut on the strategy, which way is going to be the way to go. But they'll want to, like I said, put their foot down on the championship hunt, as Wright actually goes 6th with 31.778. To say he's in 6th place and he's a 10th and a half off goes to show us still how close this field is at the moment. Like I said, Fidek currently top, which is awesome to see. I don't think he's had a pole position for about 4 years, maybe. So it'd be great to see if he can manage to hold on to that towards the end. Or there's a bit of a slide out of the hairpin there, but yeah, it'd be good to see if he can hold on to that top spot.
I'm really, really intrigued to see how this battle goes, because I have a feeling that 2021 is going to be very similar to last year compared to what we've seen so far, in so much as there's not going to be one dominant team and one dominant driver that will conquer every race. It's going to be down to thousandths of a second, hundredths of a second in qualifying times, which means that I think teams are going to take it in turns over the course of the season as to who is going to get the victory in each race, which means that who wins the title will come down to who can be the strongest when they're not winning. That's how you win championships in motorsport. It's not when you cross the line first. It's what you do when you're not crossing the line first.
Yeah, and consistency is key, isn't it? Someone like David Fidek's the king of consistency in his championship winning years. I mean, going back to 2014 when he won his first one, him and Lewis Redshaw were fighting out for wins. I think Lewis won more races that season, but David obviously finished more races in the points, had more podiums, and ended up winning the season because of that. And even last year, Adam was the more consistent driver over the season and beat out Yannick Bock to the title by the smallest of margins. And like I said, yeah, again this year, I don't think we'll see one single team be at the very, very top. I think you've got Adonis, you've got your Evolution, sorry, you've got maybe even GSR Sim Racing by VBM. They're looking very strong in the season. HRT, I mean, even Epic. I mean, if David can keep it going, and obviously Flo is getting better and better with each race going, who knows? Maybe even they could be a dark horse. But it's lots and lots of lots of drivers out there wanting to win it, and quite frankly, we don't know who's going to win it.
Well, Flo Geyer has actually gone fastest in the first and second sectors. He might go top here. He doesn't quite manage it. 4th place, but with 6 minutes to go in qualifying. How big a boon is that for the Epic team? For David Fidek to be provisional pole and Flo Geyer to be in 4th place. That would be absolutely astonishing if they could keep both their cars in the top 5. Liam Duval is now starting to set the pace, and this is when we can expect to see drivers going for the victory, going for pole position, and really starting to eke out those sector times. Duval, fastest of all in the first sector, so really starting to find that little bit of extra pace, and it is a good opening sector, 24.283, so a very good start for Liam Duval in the Adonis, who of course won the Australian Grand Prix first time out. So he would love to get back on the top spot and put to bed the nightmare that he had in Sakhir.
Oh, I don't think nightmare was the word, was it? I mean, Mazepin went got further. So, Liam really needs to try and improve. I mean, even if he qualifies in the top 20, he was saying to me that's an improvement. So, I mean, I'm sure he'll be up there. But like I said, 2 purple sectors in the first 2. It's a pretty good way to start your lap. So I think it's crossed he can keep that going. But yeah, Mr. Mayor in the group in the YouTube chat, the top 27 separated by 0.6 of a second. That's that's not bad. As Liam crosses the line, what's he going to go do? Liam stays 3rd.
Yeah, it's the 3rd sector. That was his Achilles heel. The 3rd sector did not go according to plan at all. And that is really hampering him at this point in proceedings. So it didn't work out in his favour at all there. So we've got David Fidek in provisional pole with 4.5 minutes left of the session from Stefan Rualt for the Holland Racing team. Then Liam Duval, Florian Geyer and Fabrizio Gobbi in the top 5. Germano Zappala and Wright Kilk. And then Dan Brewer, Christian Pascal and Yannick Bock, the winner last time out, only in P10, with Adam Maguire, the reigning champion, down in 12th. So this could be a fascinating race here in China and another interesting turn of events in the title fight. Interestingly as well, Colin Spohr coming across the line now, 24th, now up to 18th, but this is not the form that we were expecting to see from Colin Spohr today.
Yeah, obviously he had a great race in the first race of the season, didn't he? He nearly won, but obviously Liam Duval managed to hold him off for the victory. But yeah, down in 18th, and he's only 3/10 off pole, so it's so close. You just need even half a tenth will vault you 3 or 4 places up the grid. So he's going to be looking to improve that. Someone who's been in top 5 consistently all season, someone Fabrizio Gobbi. Like I said, he's leading the championship at the moment, and it's because he's doing that consistency that we spoke about in the just a couple of minutes ago. I mean, Fabrizio Gobbi's been top 5 in all the qualifying sessions so far, podium both races so far, and he's the one. This is why he's top, because he's got that consistency to keep it near the top for each race.
It is a good point, because Fabrizio Gobbi is 1/10 of a second off pole position, and he's 5th on the grid. That's how close it is in the Grand Prix Virtual World Championship Super League. It could not be tighter at the top between these 20 drivers. Mus really sliding through that hairpin. That's where so many drivers seem to be losing time in this qualifying session, you know. They are just pushing it a little bit too deep into their hairpin. And look, Mus actually bailing out of the lap there because he lost too much time into that hairpin. So a fascinating end to this qualifying session coming up. 2 minutes 45 on the clock, and it's Fidek from Rualt, Duval, Geyer, Gobbi, Zappala, Kilk, and Dan Brewer, with some big names out of the top 10. Maguire is P12, Simoncic is 13, Leon Bock 14 ahead of Maciej Mlinek in 15. We've got Lalo in 16th ahead of Vak and Ragusa, who's 18th. Colin Spohr back down to 19th. And then outside the top 20, we still have a very competitive bunch of drivers, but 27 drivers covered by less than 0.7 of a second. You cannot afford a single error in this qualifying lap, or it really could ruin your entire race. And you've got to be so consistent over the course of these 16 races in the Grand Prix Virtual World Championship season. It really is tough. So Fidek looking for potential pole position with 2 minutes to go. Leon Bock going well. 0.4 of a second off the pace at the moment. This is a lap he's had to bail, and he's not going to get another one in. So Leon Bock is the first big name to not get a chance of setting another lap, and that's going to hurt his confidence coming into the race. Oh, Thomas Vak! Goodness me, a massive tank slapper from the RSR drivers. He just got on the curb, and that's it. He can't do another lap now either. So you can see the mistakes starting to creep in.
Yeah, Fidek also now into the pit, so he will be over, but someone like Liam Duval, he's just on his outlap now, so he's timed it very well. He'll be looking to start the lap as the timer ends. So obviously David Fidek won't have the best conditions for the track. Neither will, like you said, Simoncic, Vark, Lalu, Bok, Leon. Obviously there's 2 Boks here, but yeah, they're going to miss out on the best grip of the session that they can potentially do the fastest times on. So a shame, but obviously we'll have to see what they can do. Mirko Lucchini across the line 15th, and he improved by a 10th and went up 12 places. Like, that's how close it is. Crazy close. So have to see what happens.
Pascal, look, Pascal's just banged the pole position time in. He's just done it. Look at that. By 0.025, Christian Pascal has bagged the pole position away from David Fidek at the last. So there's a minute left to go in the session, and Pascal has just stolen it from under Fidek's nose.
I'm sure Jack Mayer and Josh Downer are going to be very excited seeing that. But yeah, I mean, that's not someone we expected to be at the top of the times. I mean, who knows? He may have still got all the rest of the guys to come yet. But yeah, very good lap there, 31.6. I know I've got a prediction for pole position from Liam Duval from before the session. If he gets there, I'll let you know. But yeah, all I'll say is we're below it at the moment. So, but still, we've got 14 seconds left of time plus the guy to finish our laps. Right, Kilk's on a great lap though, coming out into the final, onto the back straight.
So it's all going to be about that final sector, this final hairpin. This is where we've seen so many drivers get it wrong, and it's so easy to mess up on this final lap. Fabrizio Gobbi on a fast lap as well, so he could move up from P6. So we've got to keep an eye on Gobbi. We've also got to keep an eye on Wright Kilk. 2 big names that could storm onto the front row of the starting grid. It looks good for Pascal and Fidek to be on the front row. It's a little bit squirrely for Wright Kilk, but he essentially keeps the speed up. There wasn't too much wheel spin coming off the turn. Into the final bend, he goes very wide out. That could be a problem. Wright Kilk across the line, 3rd. It's not good enough for the front row. Gobbi comes across the line. What can he do? It's not an improvement on 7th. So pole position goes the way of Christian Pascal unless there is a last-minute change from Stefan Rualt on the Holland Racing Team machine. He comes into the final hairpin. Is he going to get a decent run out of the final turn? That's so smooth. He's got a great chance of snatching pole position away as one of the final drivers on a fast lap. Flo Gaia's on a quick lap as well. What can we do across the line? Is this going to be pole position? Yes, it is for Stefan Rualt. Bang! Pole position with a 1:31.471. He finds an additional 0.132 of a second. That's mighty for Stefan Rualt. Flo Gaia dropping to 7th place as Adam Maguire returns to the fray, up in 3rd position on his final lap. Flo Gaia pushing the limits in the final turn. What can he do? Is he going to get a top 5 position? No, he lost too much time in the final bend. But Stefan Rualt snatches pole position. There could be a final change here in the final lap for a couple of other drivers as they come through. Are we going to see another major launch forward? Across the line, and Leon Bok goes 5th. So Bok displaces Wright Kilk. So that's a good improvement for him there on a 1:31.633. A good run there for Leon Bok. Germano Zappala got a good lap in there as well. There to go 7th fastest. But that is astonishing. And the gap between the top 10 drivers is just a whisker over a 1/4 of a second. Sneeze in the wrong direction, and you will be 10 rows back on the starting grid in this epic field of drivers in the Grand Prix Virtual World Championship. That is an astonishing end to the qualifying session, and a lot of drivers who can be very happy with their starting positions, none the least of whom are the front row men. Let's look you through it. Stefan Rualt and Christian Pascal from Adam Maguire and David Fidek. Welcome back to the front. Leon Bok and Wright Kilk from Germano Zappala and Liam Duval. 2 epics in the top 10 for Flo Gaia and Fabrizio Gobbi, the championship leader, currently in P10. Then it is Dan Brewer in 11th position in front of Matthias Muss. Janik Bok is only 13th, this time from Laurent Kiersmackers. Robin Pansar in front of Janic Simoncic. And then we've got Mirko Lucchini and Giuseppe Laiano. And then Macim Leinek and Jukka-Pekka Lalu from Thomas Vac in 21st and Giuseppe Ragusa in 22nd. Eros Mashuli 23rd. Poor Colin Spork. 0.4 of a second back from pole, and it's only enough for 24th on the grid. Federico Russo, Michael Francesconi, and Dan Stepkowski. 0.641 between the entire grid. Tom, I've never seen that anywhere before in any form of motorsport.
What makes it worse is that Ruel's on pole by a 1/10.5. So really think about it. Second to 27th were separated by what, 4/10? That's mad. Yeah,
really is,
I mean, fair play, Ruel. What a lap. I think he's had a pole position in the Super League before, but yeah, that's quite. I mean, for this field, it's emphatic, isn't it? A 10.5. So great stuff for Stefan to get a very well deserved pole position. It's that final sector. He really hooked that final sector up really nicely. And like you said, obviously a lot of drivers were losing a lot of time there. And yeah, fair play. Pascal as well, Mayor Downard Racing's first ever front row in Super League, so they're going to be absolutely buzzing for that. So well done, Pascal. But I was saying about Gorby with about 2 minutes to go, wasn't I? I was in the top 5, he's consistent. Lucky to stay in the top 10 there. So mad, absolutely mad.
Yeah, that'll do us. That's an epic starting grid, and it means we should have, to go with it, an epic race. Now, predictions are obviously going to be the next talking point as the drivers are currently out on circuit for their warm-up. Jake Sanson and Tom Parker in the commentary box here in the Grand Prix Virtual World Championship for the Super League Round 3 from the Shanghai International Circuit at China. Your broadcast director is Argo Teder. Let's start the ball rolling. Who is going to be your race winner now? Because that starting grid gives us at least 15 candidates for the win, considering how close it is in terms of qualifying and the fact that we've got several drivers out of position, several drivers back in position, and several drivers returning to position. So this could be an absolutely sensational race. The first major prediction comes in from Caitlin Penny. He says Maguire for the win, but it could honestly go to anyone. That's a good shout, but again, unpredictability is definitely going to be the buzzword here.
Yeah, I think Caitlin's right. She's yeah, Maguire's a good bet, but I'll tell you what, I'll let you know after 15 laps. How's that sound? I think
You're
that's
sitting
fair.
on the fence again, Tom Parker.
I mean, how do you know? So I'll quickly go into strategy actually whilst we're talking about it. So, like I said earlier, so yesterday in Super League Lights, 2-stop was the way to go. Michael Ayres actually did try a 3-stop, and he had a bit of a nasty spin in his final stint, and if he hadn't had that, he'd been quite close to the victory. So here it's going to be quite important to be looking after the tyres. Very, very high tyre wear here, really limited track. So obviously a lot of traction zones, the hairpin being quite a major one. But obviously you've got those long sweeping corners, both in turns 1 and going onto the back straight in sector 3. So very high tyre wear here. So teams could very well be looking at a 3-stop, soft tyre 3 times, and then medium stint. Obviously you have to use 2 different compounds during the race. Hard tyres are pretty much useless. If anyone puts the hard tyres on, that'll be their race over. As we saw yesterday in Super League, in Super League Lights, we saw, I know Saraceno was fighting in top 10. By the end of the race, I think it was about 15th, 16th, purely because he put his hard tyres on and they're just useless. So, yeah, if anyone can look after their tyres nicely, 2 stops probably be a soft, medium, soft, medium, etc., etc. But quite frankly, I'm only expecting to see the 3 stops today. It's quite an easy track to overtake. You've obviously got that long back straight. If you've got the gonads, you can go into turn 1. Even in the final corner, I know there's been racing and overtaken in there throughout the career ladder. But yeah, I mean, judging on that, someone like Fidok, he's always been very good on his tyres. He can see something he's seen doing the 2-stop, potentially the best one to go. Obviously, you can defend with that way, but it gives you track position. But yeah, I can't choose a winner. I really can. I mean, someone even from the outside of the top 10, someone like Daniel Brewer, who is another change actually in the senior bike car. Dan Brewer making his first race start of the season, could be winning because obviously he has the choice to start on the mediums. Obviously, just a reminder, everyone in the top 10 who qualified on the top 10 will have to start on the compound they qualified on, being mostly softs, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, someone from outside the top 10 could very well win this race today. It's really close, but engines as well come into it. I haven't got the graphic on me as I speak, but obviously difference in engine power. Obviously, 100% engine will give you more power. So, yeah, all to play for. So, like I said, I'll tell you after 16 laps who I think is going to win.
Yeah, it's certainly worth pointing that one out, actually, because as David Carter rightly points out on the YouTube stream, 11 cars have engines that are currently below 30%. So the attrition rate is definitely going to be a factor in this one. It didn't end up being much of a factor at all at Sakir. There were 1 or 2 cars that had a bit of an issue in various ways, but it was essentially a relatively strong race. But any cars that have got a 30% engine or lower are definitely going to struggle, because let's not forget that while there are a lot of tricky and technical corners on the circuit to slow the cars down, you've also got one of the longest straights in this championship on that back straight, and you've got 2 major fast runs. The main straight itself with a very fast opening into the apex, which obviously depreciates in speed as you go through, but that long back straight, that's an engine killer.
Yeah, and like I said, obviously it affects the power output as well. So someone with a 30% engine against the 100% engine will have less power, less top speed. So it's quite a big factor. And like I said, 11 cars below 30%. I'm surprised that many teams are risking it after what we saw in Australia, Bahrain, sorry. So fair play. Obviously they've done their homework going out, and they know what to expect this time round. But quite a big disparity, actually. It'd be interesting to see the graphic, if anyone's got that. If they could pop it in the Super League chat, that'd be great, because I'd love to have a look at that. But, yeah, crazy stuff. I mean, someone like, for example, I can imagine someone like Pascal, for example, probably having one of those ones who's on 100%, because the final sector was so good. So that might be why. But, yeah, big factor for some big boom booms today. That would be fun watching, I'm sure.
Important for drivers to take the opportunity in the warm-up to practice their starts as well, because obviously they're going to be running with the setup that they're going to start the race on. They know what they can get out of qualifying. They know what the circuit is going to do in terms of behavior. For the record, currently the fastest one in the warm-up on a 1:35.902 is Laurent Kiersmackers. It doesn't always give us a great indication as to who's going to be the fastest drivers, particularly when you consider that half the field does tend to sit out the warm-up session and just go over strategies internally with their teams in the Discord chat or whatever it is that they choose to use to keep in touch with each other. So it is going to be very interesting how this race goes on ahead of us. We've got a 5.451 kilometer race circuit, 56 laps in duration. So it is a very, very long and tough race. And you do get a heck of a lot of wear and tear in these cars over the course of proceedings. It's 305 kilometers of racing today. So that's definitely going to take its toll on those teams that are risking a little bit of a flirtation with attrition.
Absolutely, and yeah, I've got that list now. Thank you very much, David Carter, for posting that there. So let's have a little look then.
Right on cue, David Carter.
Yeah, very
Right
good. Well done. Yeah, Pascal, perfect example, 100% engine. So yeah, makes sense as to why he had such a good final sector. Our pole position man, Ruel, has a 61% engine. So interesting. He had a good final sector, and he had that much of an engine deficit. So impressive stuff there. He may have gone for a lower wing setup. Obviously, you want to be able to overtake here, so that's going to be main issue. But both Epic Racing's 100% there, so interesting. But then on the flip side, both GSR Sim Racing Centre by VBM and both Burst have both got below 30% engines. So, as have Edge. Colin Spork's actually got the lowest engine in the field, 22%. So, Colin's going to have to be looking after his engine pretty much for the entire race. That's quite a severely low engine. I'm surprised they're risking that. So they must have obviously done their testing and know it's going to last. But very, very brave stuff there from the Edge Esports boys.
Well, I suppose as well, you've got to think about this in terms of races where this could hurt them, because obviously in Shanghai, they've got a reasonable chance of getting to the finish here. But the next race, of course, after this one, is going to be India with its incredibly long straights. Even more so than here, it's going to be a big, tough killer on engines. So they must be thinking about this in terms of long-term strategy, not just in the short term. So those that have decided to stick with things here in Shanghai, hoping that the short corners, the smaller, slow, stoppy-starty nature of the middle parts of the course are going to be a bit of a salvation, because they can then get themselves together in time for Bud, which is a big engine circuit. That's really going to be a massive developmental strategy hook for a lot of the teams. So they've got to keep that one in mind as well.
Yeah, yeah, Bud's coming back, obviously coming onto the career ladder for the first time ever, actually, in GPVWC. So, going to be interesting to see what drivers do there. But yeah, like I said, I mean, it's a big old straight there. I remember I did a race there not long back, and everyone ran out of gearing, so they couldn't overtake anyone. It was quite funny, actually. But yeah, obviously we won't have that problem here. But yeah, obviously, like I said, they're looking to see which tracks will affect the car least for the engine. This one potentially being one of them. I know somewhere like Singapore, for example, will be a great track for preserving engine life, because you haven't got the massive straights there. So we'll have to see where it goes. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. That lap one's going to be interesting once they've all sorted themselves out. See how easy overtaking is going to be as well. Like I said, it's a big straight here, quite a few big straights here. So overtaking should be a bit easier than we saw in Australia, for example. Bahrain had quite a few good overtakes as well. So fingers crossed we'll see an exciting race today. And like I said, very different people on the front row. We've not had the same person be on pole, have we, just so far this season? So throwing up a lot of surprises.
And of course, we have to talk about it again in a little bit more detail as we go to the end of proceedings for warm-up, and we start thinking about the big race itself. Pit stops. It's tough to know, isn't it? Because there are several schools of thought as to whether it's going to be 2-stop. It might even be a 3-stop race, this one.
Yeah, and like I said, Super League lights, obviously a little bit shorter races, so the 2-stop is a bit more plausible. But here, it really is anyone's guess. I mean, if I was driving, I'd be doing 3 stops. That's my personal opinion, having driven the Super League lights car. I would be 3-stopping in that series, let alone in this one. So I do think the winner will be a 3-stop today. I think the tyre advantage will just be that great. And obviously being able to use the 3 soft tyres and the 1 medium rather than the 2 mediums. I don't think anyone will be able to do a 2-stop on the on a soft medium. If they can, I will tip my hat to them. But I really don't think it's possible, even for someone like David Feidock, who is one of the best in the league on tyres. I really can't. It's someone like Simčić, the box, famed for their tyre wear prowess. I don't think like I said, if they can, I'll tip my hat to them. But I do think a free stop will be the faster way to go today. And I think we'll see a free stop win this race.
So for the record, the fastest driver in the warm-up was Colin Spork. He did a 1:35.412. How difficult is it going to be for him to be, never mind the fastest lap, but also towards the front end of the field today? It's definitely going to be tough from 24th on the starting grid. We're really going to make a very tough race ahead of us. And when you consider that there's less than 7/10 of a second covering all 27 drivers on this starting grid, we are definitely in for a bit of a roller coaster ride around this Shanghai International Circuit. And of course, the circuit designed in the shape of the symbol for Shanghai. It really is a fabulous backdrop and an underrated circuit, but also a very interesting technical one. Some great races have taken place here in the past in various different forms of racing. Sim racing, of course, being one of them. But this is definitely going to be a top-level action-packed drama for the Super League. Two different winners over the first two races. Leon Duval in the first round of the championship. Yannick Bock in the second, with the man in the lead of the championship being neither of them. That is Fabrizio Gobbi of the GSR Sim Racing Centre by VBM Squad. And that will be tough for him to keep hold of. But all he has to do from his point of view is keep in that top five. If he keeps in that top five all season long, it's going to be very difficult for people to stop him. And another interesting question coming in from Jack Meyer, will there be a four-stopper? It's genuinely conceivable, isn't it? Because we don't know how the strategies are going to go. And there might be one or two teams who genuinely think that four stops could be the way to go.
I mean, someone who's got a really severe tyre wear, potentially, yeah. Someone like Wright Kilt, for example. Obviously, he did a free stop last time out in Bahrain when the two stop was king. So maybe he does feel like you do. I mean, you could really, really push your tyres. And I've not driven the Super League car myself. Obviously, it's very similar to the Super League Lights one, but I can imagine that pushing your tyres harder will be a lot quicker. Obviously, to the detriment of your tyre wear and having to pit an extra time. But like I said, I mean, you can overtake here. Maybe it's worth it. We'll have to see. Like I said, you'll know after 15, 16 laps roughly who's going to be doing what. Maybe even a little bit longer, maybe 20 laps. But like I said, we've got 15 laps of getting through first. Obviously, so far this season, we've had the first stint that's always been quite quiet, quite consistent. No one's been doing too much racing. So after that, we start to see what really happens. And as they go to the racetrack, Mr. Marth Ackerman does his usual announcements, and the drivers will start to grid up.
So this will be an absolutely fantastic battle for the competition ahead of us. I made an error earlier. I was thinking about one driver and one member of the GPVWC Super League community and ended up saying the wrong one. I do apologise, Wobbers. It was completely my fault. A nonsensical moment there from Sanson, the first one of the night. So if you've just joined us, well done to everybody for tuning in. It's the Grand Prix Virtual World Championship Super League third round of the 2021 season here from Shanghai International Circuit. Beside me is Tom Parker, the James Hunt of sim racing. I am Jake Sanson, the Murray Mint of motorsport. It is going to be an absolutely fabulous race ahead of us. Our broadcast director is Argo Teder, and we're in for 56 laps of an absolutely fascinating form of motorsport. This is sim racing at its best. It's R Factor 2 at its pinnacle, and you're going to see an epic 56 laps in front of you. 27 drivers covered by less than 7/10 of a second in qualifying. Boy, are we in for a show. Here's the grid. Stefan Rualt in pole position. Alongside him is Christian Pascal. And then in row 2, it is Adam Maguire, reigning champion, alongside David Feidock, former champion, back to the front. On the third row, it is Leon Bock, who lines up his Evolution car alongside Wright Kilk of the Red Archer Virtual Racing team. Germano Zappala in 7th on the grid for Scuderia Basilia, and Liam DeWaal, the man who won the Australian Grand Prix. Row 5, Florian Gaiers back up at the front end of the field in the Epic Racing car alongside championship leader Fabrizio Gobbi. On row 6, it's Matthias Muss in the Red Archer alongside Yannick Bock, the man who won 2 weeks ago. Row 7 is Laurent Kiersmackers beside Roman Pansar. Janic Simčić is on row 8 of the grid alongside Mirko Lucchini. Good result from him in 16th. Giuseppe Lino and Maxim Lenek on the 9th row of the grid, both struggling in qualifying. Jukka-Pekka Lalu is there alongside Thomas Vack, who struggled on his last qualifying lap. Giuseppe Ragusa, 21st on the starting grid. Alongside him is Eros Mashuli in the Ghost Speed 80G. Colin Spork way down in 23rd. What can he do from row 12? Beside him, Federico Russo in the second Green Stripes car. To round out the grid, it is Michael Francesconi in the Mayer Downard, Dan Stepkowski in the RSR, and Dan Brewer in the Cenobite, the sole Cenobite on the grid. A very tricky start to the season for them. So this will be a fascinating race ahead of us, and we're in for a good one, Tom. How on earth is this one going to turn out?
Hopefully very clean. That's all I'll say. Hopefully very clean. But I'll quickly run through the drivers who aren't on the soft tyre. So everyone on the top 10, obviously soft. Dan Brewer did have a 20-place penalty, just to inform everyone. He had a penalty coming over from last year, so that's why he's down at the back. But we have everyone in the top 13 is on soft, and then Robin Panzar on the mediums. His teammate Serbenchich also on the mediums in 15th. Yukini 16th, also on mediums. Sorry, not Lino. Linek, Lalu, and then who else we got? Everyone else on pretty much on softs. Oh no, Russo mediums, Francesconi mediums, Stepkowski mediums, and yeah, so no one on the hard tyres. So no one's doing their racing straight away. So that's good stuff. I can't imagine hard tyres on this amount of fuel. That'd be absolute suicide. But yeah, it's a long way on the grid for Mr. Rual. Rual's not even through the hairpin yet, so he's going to be on the grid for a very long time. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
So how on earth are we going to get this one sorted out? We've got 27 drivers, covered by less than 0.7 of a second. Several champions, several race winners, and many who are hoping to stand on the top step of the podium for the very first time. The Grand Prix Virtual World Championship grid is formed for the third round of the 2021 Super League here at Shanghai International Circuit. Jake Sanson and Tom Parker in the commentary box. Your director is Argo Teder. We're ready to rock and roll here in Shanghai. We've had two different winners already, Liam Duval and Yannick Bock. Will there be a third? And how on earth is it going to play out with 27 drivers covered by less than 3/4 of a second around this circuit? We are in for an absolute spellbinding encounter. Let's race at Shanghai! Brilliant start from Christian Pascal. He gets himself trying to get up alongside Stefan Rualt. They go through the first corner. It's a tidy start from Vidak, and it looks as though already we've got Maguire in between a rock and a hard place. Maguire getting through there into third position, nice and neat. His teammate Liam Duval is already trying to get stuck in, just in behind them. Vidak keeping himself nice and sturdy on the outside. He's going to drop to fifth position behind Leon Bock. So Bock gets through into P4. A little puff of smoke coming from Christian Pascal. Hopefully that's going to fade over the course of the lap. But this is going to absolutely do or die. Couple of manoeuvres in the middle of the field as drivers try and get a little bit squirrely off the turn. A little bit too close together, some of them. This could be very tight indeed as the drivers go through the second sector.
Yeah, Lauren Kiersmackers got a little bit sideways here. Dived on the outside, and I believe that is one of Renato, Matthias Moose and Yannick Bock had a bit of coming together, but no harm done. They're all going again.
So an interesting battle in the second sector already. A couple of drivers getting side by side. There's a nice little tussle going on there as we see one of the Green Stripes cars that has got to be a very solid start there from Mercury Lucchini, who's battling away with Giuseppe Raguzza. That might actually be his teammate thinking about it as they continue to battle away in the midsection. Yes, it is. It's Russo and Francesconi we were watching there. So they continue to battle away down. That's Gemma Sapala in the Scuderia Basilia. We're now watching in the battle in the top six ahead of Duval. Big braking zone for the hairpin. Is everybody going to get through without incident? I thought Flo Guy left. He's braking a little late, but he just about gets away with it without incident and without drama. This
there we go. We've got spin. Right. So Lino and Thomas Vark were caught in a sandwich with someone. I'll have to see that last car race, but yeah, they're caught in a sandwich at the rear of the field. Now about at the very back. Who's that? With an edge car. I believe that was Linek. Yeah, so they got a bit.
Beautiful move from Gaia on Gobby. Sorry to cut across you there again, but Gaia just set up Gobby absolutely beautifully into the first corner and made it stick. We've already got drivers into the pits, as you mentioned. Giuseppe Lino, one of them, and obviously as a result of that incident in the hairpin.
Yeah, so it looks like Linek and Vark just pinched. I mean, I don't think they knew what was really happening. It got a bit messy. Lino, yeah, just got pinched off and took Vark with him. Somehow Linek's managed to avoid all of that issue. So, yeah. But, yeah, unfortunately for Lino, he's in the pits to get some fresh tyres and some fresh damage repairs.
So Stefan Rualt leads the race. Christian Pascal second. Adam Maguire third. It's as they started in the top four because David Fidek did manage to get back past Leon Bock halfway through that opening encounter. So he is now in fourth place. Then it's Bock in fifth. Zapala, Dewal, Kilk, Gaia, Gobby and Yannick Bock ahead of Laurent Kiersmackers, Mus Simincic, Masudi, Pansar, Mlanek and Colin Spork, who's worked his way up to 18th. So he's already picked off 5 cars in the opening couple of laps of this race. So it's a good start from Colin Spork, but it's still a long way to go.
Yeah, very long way to go. He's now behind his teammate. I'm sure his teammate will be letting him go nice and easy. I'm interested to see what his top speeds are actually like compared to some garbage around him. yeah, he's got quite a low top speed. You can see he's actually hitting 322 in the slipstream, so that's going to be a cause for concern, I'm sure. I'm sure drivers will be going a bit faster than that further up the field. But yeah, up into 17th, teammate lets him go, and yeah, one more place made.
Well, Dan Brewer's made his way up to 22nd in the Sol Cenobite, so he's flying the flag for the team as well as he can. Francesconi there in the second of the down and carts. Whoops, that is not the racetrack. Michael Francesconi just went a little way off there, and that's going to be a perfect opportunity for Russo. Francesconi tries to break the toe. Russo can be smart here if he gets the undercut. He didn't react to it in time. Francesconi was able to keep his line there very nicely through the first hairpin. And a little bit of an experience there perhaps for Russo, as Francesconi was basically on the disadvantage there, but he managed to set himself up very nicely, and Russo didn't really respond to that maneuver in time. So Leon Bock now trying to challenge after David Feidek as the battle continues up at the sharp end of the dais, and Stefan Rualt setting fastest lap. So 1:35.841 up at the front, but you can't run before you can walk.
No, but obviously he's going to be trying to break that DRS before the end of lap 3, so yeah. There's quite interesting to see that he's already got a 1.5 second gap. For that, Pascal's going to be under danger when the DRS does start to pop open, which should be this lap. It is indeed. So Maguire going to be on the back of Pascal. Interesting to see now what the top speeds are like as he goes onto the back straight. Here comes the DRS line. Pop. There you go. That little letterbox is going to open up. Is he going to try and make a move down into the hairpin? He's gaining. He's gaining. He's gaining. He's gaining. Up the inside. Pascal thinks about defending. He's not going to fight too hard. And Maguire goes up the inside. And he breaks a little bit late there. That's going to be a costly mistake. As Feidek a bit too far back to capitalise. But yeah, Maguire's already had one effort and yeah, not made it work.
That is very inspired from Pascal. He just decided to surrender the corner, let Maguire overshoot and take back second place. Well read by Pascal, and some interesting battles like that to come over the course of this race. That back straight is definitely going to separate the men from the boys here tonight, as Maguire, reigning champion, struggles to find a way to stay in front of Pascal. It was a good move. It was on, but he just couldn't get the braking zone right. So now he's got to do it all over again. Dan Brewer having a terrific battle with Lalu at the moment as they duel away for 20th position. And in the mix there as well, you've also got Ragusa. So some good battles throughout this particular section of the course. And it's definitely looking pretty exciting. So now we've got Maguire in third position trying to move into second place to catch up to Pascal. But Feidek will be getting very het up there in fourth position. Here's Flo Gaia in ninth position, trying to close up on Right Kilk in the Red Archer. So already an interesting midfield battle developing as we've got De Waal in seventh place, trying desperately to stay on the tail of the Scuderia Basilia of Germano Zappala. He's there or thereabouts. We've already got Kilk and Gaia potentially starting to drop a little away from the top 7. So this could be an interesting run. They've got to make the DRS work on this fourth lap of the race. Colin Spork is going through the field like wildfire, by the way. He's up to 16th place now. So Spork making some good inroads into the drivers around him. So qualifying obviously hampering him, but certainly not a major hindrance as Gaia has DRS. Interestingly, the man in front of him, Right Kilk, does not use it to a good sufficient mark because he's too far back from the drivers in front of them. Drivers going very deep into that hairpin. It always baffles me that they can go from that plus 200 miles an hour down to 60 in just a few hundred meters.
You said about Sport going through the field. Now Daniel Brewer's going through it like butter with a hot knife going through it. He's up into 19th place from the back of the grid. Now you've got a little bit of free air as Mirko Lucchini's got Luca Picolalu all up on his inside. He's going to surrender that move. So Lalu into stays in 21st. But yeah, Dan Brewer making his way through the field very nicely from the back of the grid in the Cenobite, looking really, really confident in that car actually for his first start of the season. So good stuff from him.
So Spork and Brewer definitely the hard chargers at this moment in time. Good to see, and always tough for someone like Dan Brewer to move forward because he doesn't have a teammate out there to work with him. So he's doing all of the data, all of the hard work, all of the learning about what that car is doing out on the circuit without support. So it's definitely a tough position for Dan Brewer to be in. Certainly looking good as a candidate for driver of the day. We're on board in the inset with Leon Bock in fifth position, trying to stay close to Messrs Maguire and Feidek, both of whom had tasted world title success in Super League in the past. Maguire most recently, Feidek a few years ago now, but still pushing his weight around as Lauren Kiersmackers in the main picture is trying to get close to last time out winner Yannick Bock. Now DRS is going to be interesting again on the back straight. It's all pretty much stalemate on the back straight for some of the drivers out there, but there will be others that will go for a move. Is that Maguire seeking a way through on Pascal? Yes, it is. Can he finish the job this time? Yes, he does. So Maguire this time gets into second place. 3 seconds adrift from Rualt, but crucially into second place. He finishes the move this time.
I think he took advice from the rear wing of that mare down the car, and he just sent it, didn't he? But yeah, got it right this time. He managed to park it on the apex a little bit, stopped Pascal getting a good drive out of the hairpin, and job done. Yeah, so now Fidek's turn to send it. As you can see, they're on the rear wing of the mare down car. But yeah, good move from Adam Maguire. But like I said, 3-second gap now to Ruel already. Ruel's checked out.
And obviously that's going to be a difficulty because he's 3 seconds away from Maguire, and that's not going to make Maguire's race any easier to cope with. So they're going to obviously struggle to keep up with the race leader, but Fidek is definitely getting on with it now as he tries to charge after the man in third position, Christian Pascal, who was, of course, provisionally our pole sitter for so much of that latter part of the qualifying session until Ruault managed to snatch it away from him with the final qualifying lap. And this is a great chance for Stefan Ruault to become the third different race winner of 2021. Interesting for Panzer, getting very defensive there with Dan Brewer reeling him in behind. So this could be a tough race for Robin Panzer to sustain the pressure from Dan Brewer, who is actually the fastest man on track at the moment. A 1:35.5, fastest lap of the race from Dan Brewer. So he really is absolutely charging as Fidek is now sizing up an opportunity on Pascal. He's within DRS range. He's going to be a little far back unless Pascal misses his braking point. So this could be the chance here for Fidek. He's not going to wait around, and Pascal isn't going to put up much of a fight. Fidek, so sensible, keeps the apex nice and tidy. Good acceleration off the corner, and that is David Fidek in a P3.
Yeah, he's got good top speed there as well. He still had plenty of time on the gearing as Pascal gets a bit wide. Leon Bock follows him there. But yeah, Fidek's got quite a good top speed there. Still had room to go as well in the slipstream. So he's got that car set up for overtaking, which is good to see. But now he's outside of that DRS zone of Adam Maguire. He's got to try and get back into it, otherwise he will be prone to being overtaken as we get to that back straight if Pascal can stay with him, sorry.
And in the inset, we saw Dan Brewer getting a beautiful move in the hairpin as well to move up to P17 as he took on Panzer and got the job done. So Brewer continuing to put Cenobite back into the action again, as now it's Leon Bock's turn to line up Christian Pascal, and the Evolution driver will really want to get this done quickly on the back straight. He won't want to wait around, and he certainly won't want to mess around losing time to Pascal. Stefan Ruault with 3 seconds about bang on Adam Maguire, but that is not enough to be comfortable to win a Grand Prix. He's got to be very focused and very careful about watching that tyre life, and they'll start to be thinking about 2 stops or 3 stops, or as a couple of people intimated at the start of the broadcast, possibly even 4 could be the fastest way to go as those brake discs glow red hot as they go through. Now, Leon Bock onto the back straight he goes. He'll be in the DRS range of Christian Pascal. Germano Zapala's not far away either, so he's got to be thinking about the counter-attack as well as the defense down the straight. But his only focus now is on Pascal, trying to eat up the miles behind him. And he's going to have a lot of work to close up. He's not going to be close enough to throw it up the inside, but what he can do is intimidate Pascal off the apex and just get into his blind spot a little bit. And that could upset Pascal's rhythm for this lap and set him up for another go later. So Stefan Ruault leads here from Maguire, Fidek, Pascal. And then, of course, it is Leon Bock trying to come through from Zapala, De Waal, Kilk, and Florian Gaia. That's Jukka-Pekka Lalu in the middle of the midfield battle, ahead of Maciej Mlinek. They're really struggling today, the Edge Esports cars. Well, Colin Spork isn't, but Maciej Mlinek definitely is down in P20. This man's not struggling at all, is he? He's absolutely nailed to his rhythm. Dan Brewer going through the field like scissors through wet newspaper, absolutely storming through the traffic and loving life in the Cenobite Motorsports car, while Colin Spork is doing a very similar job in the Edge Esports. He started 23rd, so that shows you how motivated and how fast he is going. He's already made up 9 places, and this is lap 8. So still the challenge continues. Stefan Ruault, 2.7 ahead of Maguire, so Maguire is actually closing in a little bit now. Maguire starting to eat into that gap a little bit more. Fidek in P3. And then we've got Pascal and Bock. Now, this is Colin Spork. He's got a bit of an issue here now, of course, because the car in front is a few car lengths in front now. Matthias Muss in 13th position. So Colin Spork is going to be on no man's land for a little while as he drops Jonic Simoncic. But he's got to do some work to close up on Matthias Muss. On the inset, we've got Lauren Kiersmackers. Here's Germano Zapala, just trying to get close to the back of Leon Bock, who again can't quite get close enough to Christian Pascal to just charge up the inside. You can't just lick the stamp and send it if you haven't got a decent envelope. So Leon Bock looking for a decent opportunity now on the main straight as he charges towards turn 1. And Bok is having another look at Pascal. There's no way you can get an overtaking move done from that far back into turn 1. But he's not thinking about turn 1. He's thinking about the back straight. He's got to nail Sector 1 and Sector 2 to be in the right zone. And still, the challenge is brutal as they come through here. Stefan Rualt, lap 9 of 56, in front of Maguire. Fidek in 3rd position. As we watch Leon Bok trying to hassle Christian Pascal. But this just shows you what sort of race pace Adam Maguire had sustained in that car in the build-up to this one. He has dropped the field, and look, he's already 2 seconds clear of David Fidek. But this man, Stefan Rualt, is trying to remain about 3 seconds ahead of Maguire. But Maguire's been putting on a good show in the last 3 or 4 laps because he's gained about half a second on the race leader. So Maguire showing good raw race pace. This is all going to come down to whether the 2-stop, 3-stop, or even 4-stop call could be the fastest bet.
Yeah, sorry about that. My internet decided to play silly. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, Maguire. So, yeah, he's gained about half a second, like I said, in the last couple of laps. Still about 3 seconds off, though, so Rual's not exactly succumbing to any sort of pressure. What's interesting is that Leon hasn't actually managed to get past Pascal yet, so that's the main takeaway I can see at the moment. Interesting to see that Fidek isn't running away from Pascal either. So, Fidek doing a good job there in 3rd, but Pascal seems to have settled down a little bit into 4th.
And now the battle's going to be interesting for Fabrizio Gobbi. Look, a little bit of a twitch as you see coming onto the final turn. You can see how easy it is for these cars to snap away. But Gobbi is really starting to pressure Flo Gaia round the outside. No way is he going to hold this one round the outside, but he's going to give it a go anyway. And Gobbi actually finds grip. He finds a little bit of traction. They bang wheels, and Gobbi's going to have the move of the race on the inside line. Absolutely stonking from Fabrizio Gobbi, as audacious as it was daring. And that is a move for the ages.
Yeah, that's impressive to keep around the outside. Usually, if anyone, I've not seen that work, and I've been racing in 2 of the series so far, and I've not seen it work. So to make that move work is absolutely, really quite impressive. So Gobbi, obviously losing touch with the pack ahead of him, he wanted to get it over and done with. And yeah, into 9th he goes. He's going to try and get onto the back of right Kilk.
Give that man a lollipop. That was absolutely sensational. What a move. And now Yannick Bok thinks, right, well, if it's easy to go around Flo Gaia at the first corner, maybe I could try it. But I don't think Flo's going to give that one away a second time. And that would have stumped Flo Gaia a little bit there, because not many people would even try that move, never mind make it work. So that was absolutely stunning from Fabrizio Gobbi. And that's why he's the championship leader, because he can roll his sleeves up and go for it when he needs to. Here's Yannick Bok. He's going to sense a move here on Flo Gaia. They've both got DRS, but Flo Gaia's going to go defensive to the inside line. He's not going to give Bok the satisfaction. Down to the braking zone, he holds the inside line. Bok comes down to the inside to get the undercut switch, but Gaia has the inside line for the next corner. He pulls across. There's enough room just to defend it, but Gaia is absolutely determined. He's going to keep in front of Yannick Bok. Yannick Bok tries again. He now goes left, because that is where he's sent by Flo Gaia. They almost bang wheels, and he comes right around the outside. Solid move. Excellent job from Yannick Bok.
Yeah, Zapala's our first fly into the pits. Germano Zapala and Colin Spork both into the pits. So they've decided now is the time to go after 10 laps. They look like they're going to be on a free stopper there. So yeah, Zapala the first of the front runners. But yeah, Yannick had that move done, didn't he, before he even got to the corner. A bit not as stylish as Gobbi, but yeah, he set it up, didn't he? The hairpin made him work for it, and yeah, made the move stick. So well done to Yannick, up to 9th place.
So we've got Gobbi through into 8th, Bok through into 9th, and now Lauren Kiersmackers fancies his chances on Flo Gaia. We'll have to pick that one up in a bit. If you're watching with us on social media, use the hashtag GPVWC, hashtag SL for Super League. Absolutely brilliant run so far in this race. Stefan Rualt is now only 2.3 seconds ahead of Adam Maguire, who really is chipping away at Stefan's advantage up front. Fidek is now only 4.3 seconds back, which gives us an indication that maybe Rualt is starting to lose the grip in these tyres a little bit, because that advantage is slowly diminishing. Then it's Pascal in 4th, Bok in 5th from Liam DeWaal, right Kilk, Fabrizio Gobbi, championship leader. Yannick Bok is up to 9th, then Flo Gaia, Lauren Kiersmackers, Mus, Brewer, Simoncic, Bashuli, Lalo and Pansar, and there's a big lockup into the hairpin in front of us as Kiersmackers goes for broke on Flo Gaia. No hesitation and no questions asked in that one. Kiersmackers makes it stick in for P10.
I was going to say, we're going to start seeing people come in, and look at that. First, so Rual, Maguire and Fidek, the entire the top 3 come into the pits. Surprised, I was going to say, because I'm surprised Flo Gaia didn't come in as well, because his tyres look absolutely done. But Deval, Kiersmackers, Oh, wow, there's a lot of people coming in. So these are going to be 3 stoppers, potentially 4. Very much doubt it, but you have to see what everyone comes out on as the runners and riders end up. Oh, there's a bit of a double stack there for the Adonis guys. Maguire having to, Duval having to wait maybe about half a second for Maguire to get out of his way. But yeah, let's see what tyres everyone's gone on to. But yeah, a lot of drivers in that lap.
I can see this being a potential 3-stop race for the majority of the field. Maybe a 4th from someone who decides to go daring in the middle stint. But Christian Pascal and Leon Bock are the ones that stay out at the front. Right, Kilk is 3rd now from Gobby, Yannick Bock, and then Flo Guy at Matthias Mussen-Brewer. Where did the race leader get out? Well, he rejoined in 19th place, Stefan Rualt, 22 seconds back. Maguire, he's obviously there behind him still, and Fidek in 21st. So they're all relatively out together. Zapala is in the mix there as well in 22nd, so he didn't lose a massive amount of time. But it's all relative. We have to figure out what the drivers who are also out there coming in for pit stops will do. Leon Bock will never have been more determined to get past Christian Pascal because this could help him leapfrog him over the course of the race. He uses the DRS to good effect, but now they're going to decide their strategy based on what Christian Pascal does, and they will not have a lot of time to react to it because it'll be basically a last-minute decision. There we go. And into the pits goes Leon Bock, but Pascal stays out, I do believe.
Yep, as does Kilk. So my fear, as does Gobby actually, my theory is obviously, so they've seen that Royal's come out in a bit of traffic, he's just got past Stepkowski, and Lucchini said thank you very much, I'll be taking that place as well. But he's come out in traffic, so I wonder if he's trying to get clear of that traffic before he ends up pitting, and that will gain him a lot of time. Obviously, the more time you've spent in traffic, the more time you miss, and maybe even Pascal's going for a 2-stop. So maybe that's why he was maybe losing a bit of time, he was just taking it a bit easier on the tyres. But yeah, Pascal and Kilk look like he's learned his lesson as well from the last race. But yeah, maybe they're just trying to jump that traffic, trying to avoid any sort of undercut working too well. And I've had to see, yeah, a couple of laps until they come in, I reckon. But yeah, it's starting to get a bit interesting as everyone who has pitted so far has come onto the medium tyre.
Yes, indeed. And Maguire is in the mix. He's got to make this move on Lucchini. He doesn't want to lose too much ground. Nicely done. He had to get that overtaking move done into the right-hander. He did not want Rual to get too far away because he's actually gained time on him over the course of the pit stops. You can see that the gap between them is nowhere near as big as it was last time. It's actually good work from Adam Maguire. He has definitely gained on Rualt, and if Rualt gets held up in a bit more traffic, Maguire will essentially be in the prime position to take the net lead of this race. So it definitely is a great showing so far from Adam Maguire as he steps closer to the rear wing of Stefan Rualt's car. Currently in 13th place now, trying to close in on Russo in the Green Stripes car that is yet to come in. Pascal, though, is your race leader. We've got him on the inset. Does he come into the pits? No, he does not. Though Pascal continues on his way through. And this is definitely interesting for Christian Pascal. They're taking the long approach as Kilk pits in, and that leaves Gobby to run in 2nd position. So right, Kilk pits in from P3.
And as was Yannick Bock comes in as well. It's quite funny. Kilk was trying to psych Gobby out there. Went to go take the corner and then decided at the last minute to go in. So obviously trying to play games with Gobby. But yeah, Pascal and Gobby, I think we'll probably be on a 2-stop, probably do 2 medium stints. But it's going to be interesting to see where they come out now, really. Because like I said, every time you have to try and overtake a car, that's more time lost. And okay, Rual's getting through him very well. But like I said, and now if Maguire starts battling him as well, that's just going to be more and more time lost. So this is some key laps for Pascal, really. It's going to see if the overcut can actually do it. And I think there's a good chance it may do.
So right, Kilk gets out behind Yannick Bock, I do believe. Oh, no, sorry, that's behind Leon Bock. I do apologise, because Yannick Bock has already pitted as well, and is there in P16, behind Lauren Kiersmackers. So that didn't go according to plan, really, for Yannick Bock. He lost some time there, and now Kiersmackers is in front of him. Fidek's just made the move on Lucchini. That gets him into 9th position. So Rualt is P7, Maguire is 8th, Fidek is 9th, and we're watching that battle at the moment. Rualt gets closer to the back of the Green Stripes car. That is Russo, who is currently in P6. A slight issue with the race view. It still seems to think that Maguire is in the pit. He's not in the pits. He's been out on circuit for quite a while now and gained massive ground on Stefan Rualt. This is going to be important for Rualt. He needs to get rid of the Green Stripes car of Russo fairly quickly because now he's got Maguire breathing down his neck, down the back straight. This is where he's going to get the DRS open, but Russo has got Pansar in front of him, so this could be a bit of an awkward one for Rualt. He needs to play sensible here. Russo's going through. Oh, he's putting his nose in where he doesn't need to, Stefan Rualt. That's such a big risk at the moment, but he does get through on Robin Pansar. Goodness me, there would have been a couple of hearts stopping on the Holland Racing Team pit wall.
you know what, Adam Maguire's just an absolute present because Maguire's gone straight through his Panzer's actually gone into the pit. So Ruel's lost even more time to Maguire there, but Russo's still in front of him, and it's not going to be easy to overtake anyway unless he manages to get him into the hairpin after this left-hander. I'd be quite impressed if he can manage that. But Pascal and Gobby both stay out, as does Ragusa. So both of the VBM cars are looking to stay out a little bit longer, maybe do the two-stop. But now let's have a look at the times. So Maguire did a 36.1 last lap. Pascal 37.3. He's lost a lot of time on that last lap. Maybe made a mistake somewhere, but interesting to see that they're still gaining, even though they're getting through the traffic. But Russo actually just set a new PB of the race, 36.3 for him that last lap. So he's looking pretty tasty at the moment. But yeah, the VBM's looking pretty good as well. 36s, mid 36s, same as Maguire and Fidock and Ruel. So interesting to see what's happening as Zapala gets past Lucchini for 8th.
I can definitely see Pascal dropping behind Zapala at the pit stop the way things are currently going. Zapala looking very good at the moment in terms of this part of the early stint. So this could be a very tricky one for him to sustain. Gobby is doing a great job here at the moment as he continues on his way through. David Carter telling us that Jonas Simičić has a penalty. We're going to have to look into that one and figure out what that one is for. Leon Bock is tucked up behind Lucchini, so Leon Bock needs to get this one done nice and quickly. Again, the green stripes running for some TV time here in 4th and 9th position. Bock making light work of the car in a straight line, but he's not going to be the only one. Right Kilt could step up here, and he may even get a wild run at Bock into the braking zone. If he sustains it, he decides that one is enough cars to overtake the hairpin on this lap. It would have been a massive risk to continue to roll the brakes and go into the side, essentially, of Bock's blind spot. Pascal finally pits in, but where's he going to get out? I think he's going to be effectively behind Germano Zapala when he rejoins. We'll have to follow it as they come through and go. There goes Zapala. There you go. So that was not the best of moments for Christian Pascal as he tries to sustain it in alongside Lucchini, manages to hold 8th position, but a lot of time lost by staying out for Pascal.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time lost, but he's on much fresher tyres. He's on, 4 or 5 lap fresher tyres. So, I mean, he's looking in pretty tasty for the rest of the race. Let's see how his progress goes now that everyone in the top stint, except for Russo, actually, still going there in 3rd place, is actually pitted now. So, going to be interesting to see. Yeah, let's see what that penalty is for Simičić. I imagine it's probably going to be speeding in the pits. I can't think of anything else it would have been. So, let's see how that plays out. But yeah, good stuff from Ruel. Now back into the lead. And Maguire's less than a second behind him now, so he's going to have the DRS. But Fidock's actually closing in on those two again as well. So starting to Constantina back up again. We'll have to see if anyone can make any inroads. Zapala's now up to 4th, net 4th. So he's had a good pit phase. Obviously, he was the first one to pit, so he's done well there. And Leon Deval's had a bit of a struggle, actually. He's lost quite a few places, I think. Down in 11th. I'm sure he wasn't that low down before.
Yeah, it's not gone well for Liam DeWild. Good work from Kiersmackers on that last lap, because he managed to make a hole for not just he, but also for Bock to get through. Here's Fabrizio Gobby, championship leader, lining up a move on Lucchini, and he's going to take Brewer along for the ride. Brewer's deciding he's going to go for the move on Gobby, and he gets squeezed onto the grass. That could have been so catastrophic, as Brewer now finds himself in front of the Epic. That's got to be Flo Gaia, who was in the mix there. Lucchini trying to shut the door again on Flo Gaia. How far into this race is Lucchini hoping to last?
Oh, flows round! Oh, big accident!
Oh, Flo Gaia tags in there with... Now, which of the Edge Esports was that? It was Colin Spork that went around. Now, we're definitely going to need to see that one again, because that got messy as they were trying to avoid Lucchini.
Yeah, so Flo got caught out by Lucchini braking very early for the final corner. Obviously, Lucchini on much older tyres than Flo. And then he got a bit out of shape, got onto the curb on the exit, and obviously we'll see a replay in a second once Argo can pop it up for us. But yeah, he just put the power down, round he went, and very, very unfortunately took Spork with him. I think they've all got their wings. Yeah, here we go. Here comes the replay, so I'll talk you through it as it shows up on your screen. So we're going to be on board with Mr. Gaia. Look at this. He's obviously had the incident with, he's already pushed Lucchini through, so he's gone wide. And then, yeah, as he puts the power down, he just spins round to the left, and Spork unknowingly gets. He tries to avoid it.
Coming. Look,
he saw it coming, but it just cannot avoid it. And I do not know how Spork has not hit the wall there. What car control that is from the young man, but yeah, they've all kept their wings. But yeah, very, very messy there.
He threw the handbrake down, didn't he? That's how he got out of it. He did the Ken Block handbrake turn to get the car out of the wall. He is the luckiest man in China right now. But Colin Spork and Flo Gaia just a little bit too close together. And you have to say for Flo Gaia, great while it lasted. A shame it didn't last longer. Federico Russo, I got to say, fair play to this guy in 4th position. We know that the Green Stripes racing car is not the fastest out there, and it has a tendency to really struggle. But Russo is having a lot of hard work here in 4th position. He's keeping it as honest as he can in P4, just trying to go the distance. He's clearly on a different strategy to everybody else, going on the medium tyres first, and he's trying to stretch out the life of these tyres. But he is not losing a stupid quantity of time to the guys out front. Rualt is leading from Maguire and Fidek, and Russo is there, 5 seconds back from the race lead. This is a good run from Russo.
And you can imagine, he must have kept Fidek behind for quite a while there, because Fidek just set at 36.3, Russo 37.4, and I mean, the top 2 have done 8 tenths quicker than Fidek, so yeah, Russo must be doing a good job defending, actually. And like I said, fair play to him. He's got every right to do what he's doing. Obviously, it's a race. Obviously, he's not pitted yet, so he's out of position, but he's got every right to defend his position. And doing a good job. Fidek's lost about a couple of seconds there in that little exchange. So, good stuff from the green stripe driver.
Zapala trying to make the move because he's got a very feisty Leon Box sensing an opportunity. So Zapala is almost certainly going to go for the run on Russo on the back straight, as Federico Russo doing his best to keep in the top 5, but it is a waiting game, and Germano Zapala has got him on the run. Surely this is going to be a nice and easy move. Leon Bock probably cursing his luck that he's not quite close enough to Germano Zapala to sling it up the inside himself, although he did have a think about it there, didn't he, at the last minute? He thought Zapala was a little bit hesitant and thought maybe there will be a move after all.
Yeah, it looked like he outbraked himself, didn't he? Just about managed to get it together in time not to hit the car in front of him. So, yep, they're both now past Russo. Russo will be in soon, I can imagine. But, yeah, good stuff. As Daniel Brewer, actually, big shout out to him. Like I said, started last. Currently 13th on merit. He's pitted already for some medium tyres. He's now racing with Gobby and Duval. I didn't think he'd be doing that really after the first, after we started the race. So good stuff from Dan. I've always rated Dan quite highly actually. He's in the Edge Esports car for the last couple of seasons. Always been there and thereabouts on pace. Never had the pace to win. But yeah, he's doing a great job just fighting his way through the field on his first start of this season. And yeah, currently sits in 13th place. More places up for grabs obviously as Russo hasn't pitted yet. And yeah, he's going to be on fresher tyres than some people around him as well. He's pitted a little bit later than others. So yeah, good run from Dan so far.
A great run as well from Germano Zapala. He's there in 4th position, as pointed out by Jeff Fournier. He didn't even realise that Germano went for the crazy undercut on lap 9, which Zapala has basically tried to make work, and he has. Look, P4, he's now ahead of Bock, ahead of Kilk, ahead of Pascal, ahead of Duval. Zapala has really got himself into a decent, solid position here in P4. 0.6 of a second clear of Leon Bock, but it's not going to be easy for the Evolution driver to make that run into the hairpin. Now we're watching Lauren Kiersmackers. He's in the 2nd of the Holland Racing Team cars, chasing after Christian Pascal, the former race leader in the Mayer Downard car and former pole position holder. He started 2nd on the grid, but surely this is going to be an easy run for Pascal on Russo. Lines up the move into the hairpin. That'll do nicely. Thank you very much indeed. Did he outbrake himself? Maybe a little bit. And Russo almost thought he had an opportunity to get it back. Kiersmackers will want this move into turn 1 if he can find it, but he's not going to need it because in comes Russo. His time in the race, up at the front, is done for the moment.
Yeah, he also did a Hamilton and decided to visit a gravel trap on the outside, but he got through. He didn't do a Hamilton and get stuck, so he's headed into the pits now. But yeah, good run from Russo, actually. It's interesting to see how he does towards the end of the race, but that's interesting to know. So he pitted on lap 19. Obviously, the times are a little bit better wear now that the
Brewer storms his way. Sorry to cut across, Tom. Brewer storms his way up the inside of the championship leader, Fabrizio Gobbi. Absolutely catches the Italian off guard, and Brewer storms his way through. He's now going to make another move. Is that Liam Duval? It is indeed. Yeah. Duval made a mistake there.
Wow, I'll see what happened to Liam there, but yeah, down up into the top 10. What happened to him?
We need to see a replay because Liam Duval, that definitely looked like his car was either out of sorts. Did he have a spin? Did something go wrong there for Liam Duval?
He sort of slowed down. Maybe he didn't want any part of Dan's fight. I mean, yeah, he come out of there unless he maybe chose the wrong engine mode. I don't know, but going down to the hairpin, he just sort of let Dan go. Interesting there.
Very, very bizarre situation for Liam Duval. I don't think it warrants a replay, really, but certainly Liam Duval. A strange decision there from the Adonis car. You'd think that the winner of the Australian Grand Prix would fight tooth and nail for every apex, but it's almost like he just bailed out and let him go. Have they got a secret agreement with somebody? Very interesting situation. But Yannick Bock now sizing up Kiersmackers. Here we go. This could be the opportunity as he goes straight through on Kiersmackers. Kiersmackers wobbles on the curb, but Bock gets through. Now, why would Liam Duval have let Dan Brewer go?
Well, he's driving his car, isn't he? Liam's in charge of Cinebite.
Of course he is. Yeah. Good point. Well, obviously deciding that he has a fast car coming, so Liam Duval thinks, you know what? Go on, off you go. You're having a good race. I don't want to be the person who stomps it. So there is Liam Duval in 11th position. He clearly knows he's not going to win this one, so he can bag some points. But he also wants his team to do well. This is a very strange situation for Liam Duval. In at the Adonis as a driver, and then in his team, Cenobite, he finds himself there battling away. Well, the way things are currently going for the Cenobite team, they obviously only have one car in. Would there be a consideration that Liam Duval would think, well, hang on, clearly we need a strong driver in the car. I'll give up my seat at Adonis and we'll get Cenobite back up the grid, because clearly Dan is doing a good job with it.
I think Liam wants to win the title against neither Adonis. I know him, Menno and Adam get on very, very well as a team, so I don't think that's probably ever crossed his mind. Obviously, Fabio's had a lot of issues with his PC, hasn't he? So that's been the issue why... I mean, once Cenobite get those two drivers in, I don't think they'll have any issues. I think they're strong enough to not finish.
Maybe I should do some testing and I should find Liam Duval's phone number, because you never know. I mean, I might be a better driver than a commentator. Somehow I doubt it, but you never know. You don't ask, you don't get.
Oh, I'm rubbish at both, so we'll see. I won't get involved in that. But yeah, I mean, once Cenobite get two cars on the grid, there'll be no issue. I mean, we know how quick Fabio is once he gets there. Yannick Bock overtakes Pascal for 7th place, going into the hairpin. Pascal's actually fighting back. He's fighting this one back. I mean, he's still got pace in that car side by side to the final corner. Fair race. Oh, I say fair racing. Give him a bit of a love tap, more of a love tap on the exit. But Yannick Bock gets past.
I know a few handy racing drivers. Here's a good one. Christian Pascal. He's sent the long way round by Leon Bock. By Yannick Bock even, I do apologise. So Pascal tries to get his way through into 7th position. Leon Bock is in 5th. It's Yannick Bock who's in 7th position as they continue to tussle away. But this is going to be very interesting indeed as the battle continues. We're just looking on the inset there. The battle that we saw between Yannick Bock and in 8th place, Christian Pascal. It got very close and personal at one stage. It was good to see that on the inset. And you got a bit of a handle there over what was happening to make that a little bit a close battle. And we're seeing a look back as well over what's happening with these guys at the first couple of corners. You can see right Kilk there a few seconds before on the inset. This is a little further back in the run. And now we're watching the live pictures, of course, on the main screen. That's Laurent Kiersmackers as he chases after Christian Pascal. Love seeing the inset as well, because it really does give you a nice semblance of what's happening at various different points on the lap. But there is right Kilk now in his present mode, still too far back from Leon Bock to challenge. Yannick Bock, however, has got pressure of his own from Pascal, so this could get interesting. Bock decides not to go diving down the inside of Germano Zappala into the hairpin on this occasion. Is Pascal about to see a driver come to his inside line in the shape of Kiersmackers? No, Pascal has held his line for the moment through the hairpin. The inset gives us plenty of angles to have a look through as well. We can see multiple battles at the same time as they happen. Great work from the GPVWC broadcast team this year to really heighten the broadcast. Here's Kiersmackers now having trouble because Dan Brewer is going for another place. Oh, I love it when Dan Brewer comes to town in this one. He just seems to have move after move after move. Look, he's taking a very dynamic line by comparison to Kiersmackers, but he cuts the nose back across on the way to the inside of the final apex, and that gives him a smoother run up the hill. So Brewer able to utilize chasing his way around Kiersmackers, and he's not being hurt badly by the dirty air of the cars he's following. So Dan Brewer making good use of the situation. He's fallen back a couple of car lengths. He lets Kiersmackers get back into the hunt of Pascal. He could pick up a couple of places here very easily just by playing smart.
I don't know. He's up 17 places on merit. Unbelievable, really. I could see him get a top 5 here, you know. I mean, so he's 15 seconds off the lead. I think the lead's maybe a little bit further out of it. Rural and Adam Maguire, I think those two are the only two real players at the moment, unless someone has something up their sleeve for the strategy. But yeah, he's absolutely having a monster race, isn't he? Really, I mean, like I said, 5th place really could be on the cards.
Speaking of monster races, can we bear in mind that Adam Maguire is now spitting out the fumes of Stefan Rualt in the hairpin? There's only half a second between them at the moment, so Maguire has made light work of the race lead of Stefan Rualt. Here comes Brewer on the inside, but also putting out Kiersmackers, trying to outfox him because he knows that Christian Pascal, he can't overtake him, but he can make it look like he's going for it, and that catches Brewer out. He has to hang back. Brilliant racecraft there from Kiersmackers to thwart the attack for another corner, but he drifts onto the curb out of the final corner. This is surely Dan Brewer's opportunity. He goes for broke to the inside line. He's going to make it stick. Absolutely brilliant from Dan Brewer.
Yeah, he dummied him and then he went to the inside anyway. Little bit of a tap on the way in, but I don't think no harm done there. I think the corner was given up anyway. Yeah, up to 9th place, and now Pascal's next. Obviously, Pascal's got fresher tyres, so interesting to see. He's the real player in this pack, isn't he? The Joker, as is Zapala, obviously pitting early. So let's see how those two go. But yeah, dude, Dan Bruin up to 9th. They've got a bit of a fan club in the YouTube comments, I can see, and I can see why. He's having a cracking race.
It's very hard to stay unbiased and not join them. Dan Brewer absolutely setting us up for a terrific second after this race. And the laps are absolutely zooming by. We're approaching half distance. And look, Adam Maguire has caught up to Stefan Ruat. He is now in the crucial DRS zone. He can make some gains here lap after lap. And I think he's going to be able to make an overtaking move, probably by about lap 26.
Yeah, so it's been a good time to see what their top speeds are like. So you've got you've got Stefan as a race breaking zone 320, and then Adam Maguire 322. But that's with slipstream and DRS. So Royal looks like he's running a little bit lower wing, which is good to see. Obviously, Royal has also got 100% engine, if I remember rightly, as well. So he's going to have a better power. But yeah, Royal's got a faster car in a straight line, I'd say. Once, if Maguire does get past, I think Royal, if he can stick with him, he'll be able to zoom straight past him with DRS and slipstream.
This will be such a different battle to what we saw last time out at Sakhir, because it was every man for himself in a squabble of 5. This is going to be a battle of wills between Stefan Ruat and Adam Maguire, head-to-head, mano a mano around the Shanghai International Circuit. And Ruat is definitely not going to want to concede a victory when he's so close to snatching one, and particularly when the man he could beat is the reigning world champion. Here's Dan Brewer. The Dan Brewer Show continues. Episode 13. He's going straight after Christian Pascal now. This is an absolutely terrific run from Dan Brewer as he continues on his absolutely sensational charge through the field here at Shanghai. This car just looks like it could keep going and going and going like a Duracell bunny. Absolutely charging forward. He now gets Christian Pascal on the run through the left-hander. This is where the dirty air will start to affect him a little bit. So he runs through on the far side. But it's these next few corners where he can really start to make some gains. And he does. Christian Pascal a little bit squirrely through the second apex there. Brewer lining him up nicely for a charge down the back straight. He'll have a little bit of momentum to try and gain to go on to the tail of Janik Bock. But this is going to put Dan Brewer into 8th place if he just keeps his nerve, keeps it nice and tidy on the inside apex. And this is going to be a textbook move, surely.
Yeah, so we've also got Bock going on to Zapala down the back straight. Well, wow, Bock made that look absolutely easy. Just zoomed past Zapala into 4th place before the hairpin even gets into the braking zone. So good stuff. As Brewer, here he goes, up the inside, nice and easy. Picks his braking point, and I believe that'll be 8th place for the Englishman. Oh, Zapala in. Interesting.
Yeah, Zapala comes in, but they're just the tiniest little brush of the wheel of Dan Brewer's right rear on Christian Pascal's end plate. That was so close. They just about get away with it, but into the pits, as you mentioned, comes Germano Zapala, going for another crazy undercut, perhaps.
Kiersmackers and Duval as well. Duval looks like he's sick of it. He wants to get out into some fresh air, but yeah, 3 drivers in. That's quite a lot of people in so far already. Zapala doesn't yet, he avoids everyone because there's a bit of an incident in Super League lights with cars hitting each other in the pit lane. Oh, Duval onto soft tyres.
He clearly wants to do some overtaking in this next stint. Maybe he is going to go down the 3. Maybe he's definitely looking at the 3-stop route. Maybe even possibly going down the 4-stop route if we know Liam Duval. So this could be very interesting. But Maguire has caught up to Stefan Ruat. They're not necessarily going to go on the same route. Liam Duval, though, has got out into traffic. That's not what he needed because he's got Russo and Kiersmackers directly in front of him. Now, Kiersmackers, of course, he's actually racing with wheel to wheel. The man in front of them is definitely not a man they are racing. That is Russo, who was in as high as P4 at one stage, of course. So Adam Maguire, here we go. This could be for the lead of the race. He's sized up Ruat. He's tucked out of the slipstream a little bit too early. He decides to not go for it on this occasion because I'm guessing it's largely to do with, as we mentioned before, with the similar top speeds of these two cars. Is there going to be a pit stop for Maguire? Yes, it is. Maguire pits in. He's going for the undercut.
Yeah, you could tell he was staying left, wasn't he? He wasn't even attempting to stay in Kiersmackers' slipstream going into the final corner. So, I mean, that makes sense. His teammates just pitted as well. And that is final in as well. We've had both FX and both Adonis's. So, what tyres is Adam going to go on? If he goes on to softs, he's going for a very aggressive strategy. He's obviously going for the lead of this race. So, we'll have to see what he does. As he stops in his box, he is going to go on to some mediums. So, they're splitting strategies down at Adonis.
Here comes Kiersmackers making his move on Russo. This could be a gamble for Duval, and he nails it absolutely beautifully. He needed to make that work, otherwise he was going to lose ground to Kiersmackers. So a nice move from Liam Duval. Yes, it's only for 21st, but in the grand scheme of things, these guys are going to move forward. Maguire rejoins. He is in P11 in front of David Fidek. So now it's all down to Stefan Rualt. Can Maguire, on these fresh tyres, bang in a fast enough lap to overhaul Stefan Rualt at the next pit stop, which can't be far away?
He's probably going to react to him. If it was me, I'd react straight away. I'd be in now. But Fidek's had a very good stop, and Maguire's had a poor one because Fidek's made a couple of seconds up in that stint. He's come out right behind him, and yeah, Fidek's looking pretty good again up into like I said, currently in 12th, but he's a lot closer than he was, and just crucially managed to get out ahead of Ragusa.
So if Fidek can have a decent run, Maguire doesn't get up to speed in time. Fidek could still have a very good crack at winning this race. Here's Maguire. We look at David Fidek a few seconds down the road from him. Well, not far at all, really. 2 seconds. That's it. And it's going to be very close for Stefan Rualt to get out into the lead of this race, which he does respond to immediately, as you predicted, Tom. So Fidek has got a good chance of snatching second place here, but Maguire is obviously hunting down a bid for the victory. He's utilising the slipstream of Eros Mashuli. He needs to beat Rualt out of the pit, so every little bit of slipstream he can gain here is going to count as into the pit lane and stops in the box. Stefan Rualt, will he go softs or mediums?
Mediums. He's on the mediums. Leon
again.
boxing as well. But I tell you what's big news. Yannick box stays out as his right kill. Oh, that was close. But yeah, they avoided hitting each other in the pit lane.
Right.
But yeah.
Now who's going to get the lead though? Maguire coming down the main straight. Rualt gets out of the box. Who's going to get the lead through the first corner? It's going to be a tough one for Maguire. The Eros Mashuli's going to be there on the outside line, but he's held it for the moment. That is so close for Stefan Rualt, but he holds the lead, and beautifully, as far as he's concerned, he splits the two of them by Eros Mashuli.
That is absolutely huge. I mean, yeah, Rio will probably get past Eros here nice and easy, but it's an overtake. He's not going to be taking the ideal line. In fact, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, let him go, but that's another couple of attempts that he could have lost there, and he didn't have to lose them. So good stuff from Rio. Very, very well done at HRT Engineering.
That was so brave and so bold. He had to make that work. Otherwise, there was no chance of him going to stop Adam Maguire in this one, because once Maguire gets into the lead in his current form, none of the other drivers will see which way he went. So David Fidek running in 10th position. The next man to pass for him is Eros Mashuli. They are the leading drivers on their second stop. We're only just on the half distance lap. It's worth pointing out as well. We are literally only just at half distance. So this race has still got a few twists and turns to come in it yet. But there's enough drama and action so far to last a season in this one, because there's still lots of good battles, still lots of intriguing tyre strategies, and drivers battling their way around this circuit. Now, David Fidek not quite close enough to challenge Eros Mashuli into the hairpin yet, but he will definitely be thinking about it into turn one, because he doesn't want to lose too much time to Rualt and Maguire, because otherwise any chance of winning this race is gone. Into the pits comes Jukka-Pekka Lalu. So Lalu comes into the pits from what was P5. And that leaves Right Kilk in the lead. Mashuli into the pits as well. That really helps out David Fidek as he now gets back onto the tail of Rualt and Maguire. He's got a few seconds to actually get there. But Lalu in, Mlanek in, Mashuli in. So that definitely leaves a nice open window. And Stefan Rualt not only has the track position, but now he has clean air.
Yeah, Fidek actually went from 4.5, 5 seconds back to only being 2 seconds back. So he's had a great pit stop phase. But the joker in the pack at the moment now is actually Liam Duval. Okay, he was about 14 seconds off the lead, but he is on those soft tyres and he's absolutely spanking it. He's going so fast. He's fastest lap of the race so far. And he's actually taking Dan Brew with him. Dan's on the medium tyre. Was actually all they're fighting for it there into the with Mr. Simoncic. But Simoncic comes off worse, and Liam takes 13th place. But Brewer's going to be up. If he can make that move, that'd be a lovely move. But cuts across him. Can't quite make it move there into the S. It's a very hard place to pass in any sort of car. But yeah, so Liam's going to be interesting to watch, see what he can do. Flo Guy also on this soft compound tyre, going very quickly, fastest first sector of the race so far. But Liam looking very, very quick at the moment.
So Dan Brewer now going to try and utilise this opportunity to get past Janic Simoncic on the back straight. He would have liked to have got it done a couple of corners earlier, because now he's dropped off the back of Liam Duval. And he's obviously still going to have some pressure from Lauren Kiersmackers behind him. But surely now, this is where Dan Brewer... Now, he doesn't want to do this too early. He doesn't want to pop out of the slipstream too early. He's got to utilise the slipstream and then open the DRS, which he does. So now he'll be there, down into the hairpin. This should be nice and straightforward. Kiersmackers may decide on a late bid. He decides better of it in the end, because you don't want to risk that. As Right Kilk pits in from the lead. And we've also got Leon Bock into the pits as well. Yannick, my apologies. So easy to get those two confused. Leon is that man there, battling in behind... Oh, that got very close, and Robin Pansar goes around.
Yeah, I mean, so Wright was coming out of the pits. I couldn't quite see if there was contact. Have a look. No, I think he just lost it on his own. Yeah, he just went a little bit wide in his own, I think.
Panzer sliding around. I couldn't have told myself if there was any contact. It would be worth having another look at it, but Robin Panzer essentially losing traction and losing confidence in the car. Now he's got to try and stay in front of Kiersmackers, who goes very deep into the braking zone. No way are you going to get past there, Sunshine. And Robin Panzer tries to hold it. Kiersmackers now has the inside line for the left-hander. That'll do. Thank you very much. So Panzer's got to try and reset himself after that little pirouette. I wonder if we can see that again into the first corner, because Wright Kilk was obviously doing what every racing driver would do in that situation, which is get himself onto that inside line and try and wrestle the inside line position. But I think you're absolutely right. Let's look at it, because Robin Panzer in a difficult position here on the circuit. You're obviously battling for position. Look, he's battling away with Zapala. That's why. Was there a little bit of a love tap from Zapala first?
It's hard to tell from this angle. Let's see if we can go on board with Zapala, but I don't think that... Oh, it was a tiny,
just the slightest little love tap, but that's all it needs on that corner, because that can just unsettle the balance. The tiniest little love tap from Germano Zapala. Oh dear, so maybe Panzer didn't lose it on his own.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from the angle I was looking at, but yeah, maybe potentially he did. And that's a shame. Zapala, oh, who's that? That's Francesconi coming into the pits. But yeah, a shame.
Back in the pits now.
Yeah, Panzer, he's out of sync, isn't he? So he's going to have to be in. But yeah, a shame. Liam Duval's actually managed to jump Yannick Bock in these pit stop phases. So Liam going very, very well indeed. What's interesting actually now is our leader at the moment is Mr. Pascal, and second place Fabrizio Gobbi, both not pitted yet for the second time. So I think they're going to be on a free stop, but it means that they can go very, very aggressive for the final stint. I'm just going to quickly check their pit when they last pitted. So Pascal actually pitted on lap 15 for his set of mediums.
Which
so
is 3 laps after everybody else, because everyone else went about lap 11, lap 12, didn't they?
Yes, absolutely. So if he can eke another 5 laps out of this, you know what? I'd say Pascal and Gobbi on a 2-stop. Have to see what they can do, see if they can get those extra 5 laps out of it. I mean, they should do. If they can get 5 laps on softs, I'm sure they can get 5 on mediums. But yeah, I think Pascal and Gobbi on the 2-stop.
It's definitely going to be brave, but you never know just how exciting it's going to be in this latter stage of the race. There are a few dark horses. Here's Wright Kilk, and he's going to make a push for Leon Bock down the back straight. So Wright Kilk having a look. Is this going to be his opportunity? Leon Bock tries to break the slipstream. Kilk commits to the outside line, draws level. He has to let him go. This is really good racing between Bock and Kilk. As Leon Bock holds 7th position, Wright Kilk looks for an opportunity, has to bail out of the move. Maybe he might get another chance in the middle sector. He might even get a chance to turn 1 if he's got the DRS open. Because, of course, this is a DRS zone. He's not close enough. Christian Pascal leading Fabrizio Gobbi. And then the 2 stoppers, Roald Maguire, Fidek, much closer together than they were. Fastest lap of the race comes in from Florian Geyer, a 1:34.3. There's still very much the Epic Racing team with a card or 2 to play in this race.
I think Wright's gone the right way. I think, yeah, it's soft for this stint. I mean, you should be able to make them last. You've got 24 laps left. You should be able to make them last 12 laps, 13 laps. So 2 soft stints, I think, is the right way to go. I think he's done the right thing there. Everyone else around him on the mediums, except for Liam, obviously. So, yeah, good stuff from Kilk. See if he can make some moves in a quite important phase of the race for him now. Obviously, he's behind Ragusa, who's only pitted once, so he's going to be a bit of a block. But yeah, this is really starting to play out quite nicely now. Pascal and Gobbi, okay, they're going to come when they come out. They're going to be a little bit further back, but they don't have to make that 3rd stop. Obviously, they're going to be quite quick on these new tyres as well. So, how long can they stretch this stint out? It's going to be very, very key. You can see in the background the top 5 all on the same part of the straight.
That will be the game changer, won't it? It's definitely going to be very tight. Now, Ragusa trying to break the toe. That's an old trick, and Leon Bock and Wright Kilk both very wise to it indeed. Ragusa wants to keep his track position as much as he possibly can, but Bock is not going to hesitate. Ragusa going to try and come back at him. There's no way that's going to work, so Ragusa is let go there in the little tussle for position. And now Wright Kilk having a look for Ragusa. He may get him as early as turn 1 if he's got the DRS open at the right moment and gets good traction off the course.
Oh!
Ragusa has got DRS as well.
Liam's in!
Liam Duval is in.
Did he have a penalty? I'll have to check. But yeah, Liam Duval has only done a few laps on this stint. Let's have a little look, see what's going on. So he's only done 7 laps on this tyre. He is coming into pit. Interesting.
Did he pick up damage somewhere, I wonder? Was there a problem?
Have to see. He's gone into another set of the softs, so Yeah, brand new tyres, but interesting. We'll have to see what's happened there. Maybe he did have some contact with someone, but yeah, very, very odd. Only 7 laps. He went 4 laps longer on the same tyres, but on more fuel. So interesting. Let's see what's happened there. Very odd from Mr. Duval.
Yep, unpredictable there from Liam Duval. Not quite sure what it is that's brought him into the pit so soon into the race battle, but we'll keep an eye on it. Here's Right Kilk as he hustles in behind the young Italian once again, Giuseppe Ragusa. But Giuseppe Ragusa is not going to make it easy for him, but it's going to be surely an opportunity down the back straight. Germano Zappala is still a danger man in this race for me.
Oh, power for the lead, Gobby got to the lead. Gobby to the lead.
Yes, Gobby leads the race then. So Gobby makes the move on Pascal into the hairpin. Well spotted there, Tom. Fabrizio Gobby, the championship leader, gets past Christian Pascal to take the lead here while his teammate is struggling to stay in the top 10. It is Fabrizio Gobby that takes the lead of the race on to lap 35. They go now. And this is going to be an absolute thriller of a second half of the race. Now we got Dan Brewer getting himself in amongst Zappala. This is going to be a brave one. He needs to tough it out. Well done to Dan Brewer. And now Zappala's boxed in. He's now going to have to do battle with Yannick Bock. Brilliant work from Dan Brewer. Back into P9.
Big move as well. So he's overtaken Zappala, who's racing on track. Ragusa is going to be well out of this race, I think. I mean, I don't think he's going to be racing these guys properly towards the end of the race. But yeah, very key move there from Brewer to get ahead of Zappala, who he is racing on track, and Bock as well goes through.
What a masterstroke from Yannick Bock to get. He basically repeated the move that we saw from Gobby earlier on in the race to get past Zappala. So Yannick Bock, absolutely incredible, just to tough it out with Zappala. He knew that was going to be his best opportunity, and he storms around. That's the same move we saw from Fabrizio Gobby earlier.
It was, yeah, and he's made it stick, and Zappala probably caught a little bit unaware. He's probably been a bit shell-shocked by all of that. Lost 2 places and 1, and Brewer, yeah, like I said, 9th, now Yannick into 10th. Not over yet. Pascal, full out overtake. He just kind of let Gobby through. Gobby went for the inside, and then I don't think Pascal probably fought on the side of caution. Keep the DRS and keep them going, as obviously these 3 guys who have pitted freshly for tyres are coming right onto them quite quickly now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him pit in probably maybe 1 or 2 laps time. It'd be interesting to see if Pascal tries to pit first and maybe get an undercut as they go past again. Yeah, they both go on for another lap. So big plays as Brewer goes into 8th.
And I don't think it's going to be the only overtaking move into the hairpin. In fact, Ragusa trying to fend off from the 2 cars behind him, and that's allowed Zappala around the outside. Zappala picks up a free overtake there on Yannick Bock. That was so clever from Zappala. He's back from the dead. That was so inspired. He realized that Yannick Bock was hustling Ragusa into the inside apex, and so he just drove right round the outside of him and went, right, well, you're not going to get through him doing that. There's no chance. I'm going to have you back again. And that really compromises Yannick Bock.
Yeah, fair play to Zappala. He's made that stick, hasn't he? Very nicely done. And used his brain now to try and get back past Yannick, and it's worked. So good stuff from him. And they're still stuck, bless him, behind Ragusa. Ragusa's doing a great defensive job. And obviously, it'll be in very, very soon, I imagine. But yeah, good stuff. Frees Dan Brewer up to go chase Leon Bock.
Shades of Vitaly Petrov at Abu Dhabi as they desperately try to work their way through. But Yannick Bock working hard on the back of Germano Zappala. And then in 12th place, you've got Lauren Kiersmackers still trying to work his way through this traffic as well. But the man who is the real cork in the bottle is Giuseppe Ragusa. Zappala is now the man at the head of the train. What can he do to get past it? Ragusa is just changing his line. Every time he comes off the turn, he's dipping across the corner, across the level of the apex, goes onto the straight, changes line. He does not want anybody to get past him. He's racing them for position, of course. He's not a back marker. He doesn't have to get out of the way, but this is his opportunity to try out his racecraft skills. He needs to break the toe here from Zappala. He's got a decent enough gap in front of him to make it work, but he's not going to defend easily enough. And here comes Bock, splitting up the inside of both of them, up the middle. It almost works, and now he tries to stick it round the outside. And Yannick Bock so nearly managed to get them both in one fell swoop. Absolutely astonishing from Yannick Bock.
The top 2 also pit at the same time. I was just going to say they need to pit now because that would be the perfect time to do it. Gobby is... oh, goodness me. They're side by side in the pit lane.
Well, that was close for Gobby and Pascal. They couldn't really have got any closer to that. They come out of the pits together. And it's going to be Gobby in front of Pascal. Just. My goodness. That got close. That got very, very close.
Did indeed. I thought he'd actually jumped him, but yeah, Gobby just about gets out in time to So he's going to be in the lead of the race again at some point. But yeah, so Rural retakes the lead of this race with Maguire right behind him. But yeah, I think Rural's going to have to do some overtaking if he wants to win this race. I think those two will have ended up back ahead of them. But yeah, this is going to be a very, very fascinating last couple of laps, I think.
Fabrizio Gobbi still hunting for a race win. It is still possible. He's got the opportunities out of sequence with the guys at the front, Stefan Rualt and Adam Maguire. But there is still a chance that on the countback and when the pit stops are all finished off, he could be the man leading this race when it's all done and dusted. There is a chance for Fabrizio Gobbi, and he knows it. Maguire, by the way, is within half a second of Stefan Rualt, the race leader. So there could be another chance for Maguire to get through. Here's Yannick Bock hunting down Germano Zappala. Zappala trying to break the toe. Bock goes hungry once again around the outside, and he's going to try and beat it to the braking zone. Zappala holds it to the inside line on the brakes, and Mus is now trying to get through on the inside of Florian Gaia, and that's well done. So Mus manages to take a place.
I think that's Flo going on to... Oh, no, it is Mus. Oh, yeah, so Flo comes into the pits. He's going to be going on to mediums to finish this race off. But I think Kill's done this perfectly. So when Kill comes into pit...
Here we go again! Oh, Bock, that's mighty! Absolutely mighty on Germano Zappala. Oh, what a move! Just absolutely storms it. That was frustration and fury for Yannick Bock. That was enough. I've had enough of this battle. This is annoying me now. I've got to storm around the outside. That was absolute elbows out for Yannick Bock.
Yeah, he can't afford to lose too much time to Dan, really, can he? He was with him just a few laps ago. Now he's lost a bit of time, 3 seconds back now, so he needs to try and catch him back up. But as I was saying, yeah, right kill. So when he comes in, if he comes in 6 laps, he'd have done 13 laps on the softs, which is what he did in stint 1, which also means there'll be 13 laps left of the race. So I think he's done the right thing. I think he's done the right thing of going on to softs when he did, and he's going to have softs again for the end. I think we'll see everyone on the softs at the end, except obviously Gobbi and Pascal, who are going to be on the mediums to the end, I believe. But yeah, good stuff from Kilk. I think he's got this right.
So right, Kilk definitely in a decent position here in 4th place. He might be able to make this work for a crack at the victory. Adam Maguire still hustling Rualt, and Fidek not far away for a possible podium in 3rd position at the moment. But we've got to keep an eye on how this battle wears out. Right, Kilk still in a very good chance. Adam Maguire runs wide out of the final turn, still pushing the limits, hoping to get that Adonis car into the lead of this race. And he's right in behind Stefan Rualt now, so there is a good opportunity for him to overhaul the race leader. Fidek in 3rd position, Kilk is 4th. From Leon Bock, Dan Brewer, Janik Bock, Germano Zappala, Lauren Kiersmackers, and Matthias Mus, who has crept into the top 10 very quietly, but has done so on merit. There is still some comebacks to come, though, from Fabrizio Gobbi and Christian Pascal. Liam Duval might have a play or two to get left in this race as well.
So just saw an overtake for 15th place between Duval on 9 at Milan. Doesn't seem very happy with what happened there. Duval goes up the inside. It's a bit of... Is there contact? I don't think there was. I don't know why Minex so annoyed. He seems to be weaving up straight to let Liam know that he's not too happy with him. But yeah, I didn't see any contact there. But yeah, Liam up into 15th on the softs. He's going to have to pay again. There's no way he's going to get those sides to the end. But yeah, interesting.
Duval launches on the inside of Russo, makes light work of the Green Stripes racing car up into 14th place. And there's not a lot that Maciej Mlenek can do other than set off after the Italian himself. Maguire very much in the sights of Stefan Rualt, half a second, but there's not much in it between their top speeds. That's the problem he's got at the moment, because there's only 2 miles an hour difference between Maguire and Rualt because of the good tactics of the Holland Racing team in terms of their wing setup. So there's not a lot that Maguire can do to overhaul Rualt, even with the DRS open. As Maciej Mlenek getting frustrated, sat behind the 15th place man, Russo. This is for the final point in the race, don't forget. So even the world champion, Adam Maguire, struggling to make impressions on Stefan Rualt. Is he just pacing himself, or is this flat out full attack and Rualt has an equal car?
I don't know. I think they may have gone the wrong way on their setup. I don't think they're going to have top speed. I mean...
Oh, that's late from Duval! Oh, sorry, Tom. That could have been so much worse for Liam Duval. Goodness me. Bailing out at exactly the right moment, but... Dear, oh dear, he really is starting to roll up his sleeve and get on with it, but that was very nearly he and Christian Pascal off on the rough stuff.
Yeah, he's trying to get on with it as well, isn't he? He's got to... I mean, he's going to have to pit again. He's going to come out way outside the points when he does pit. So he's got a lot of work on his hands. But Gobbi's pulled away from Pascal in the battle of the 2 stoppers. He's made... he's about 2.5 seconds ahead now. So Gobbi's starting to pull away. And like I said, I think... What's this pace like? So Gobbi 35.7, 34.8 from Rual. So the front runners is quicker. They may actually get like some sort of weird, disgustingly big overcut. based on where these strategies are at the moment. But yeah, it's still very, very, very close between Gobby and Rural. That's a big gap I'm going to have to keep an eye on as the race progresses. But Maguire, like I said, I just don't think he can overtake him. I just don't think he's got top speed. And if the roles were reversed, for example, I think Rural will be laughing because he's got the same top speed without a slipstream and DRS.
Yeah, so it's definitely not looking easy for Maguire to challenge Stefan Rualt as Liam Duval gets out of the slipstream of Christian Pascal, just reminding him that he's there, perhaps getting a little bit frustrated sat behind the man who was the front row starter. So this is going to be Liam Duval making his inroad into Christian Pascal down the back straight. Surely he's going to get an opportunity to make light work of the Mayor Downard on the run to the hairpin. Christian Pascal is racing him though. He's got no reason to resist him. He's also got no reason to defend either. So he lets Liam Duval go without too much of a fight. And Erasmus Schuli there just getting wheel to wheel with Federico Russo. And he gets through past the Italian now as well. So a good move from Erasmus Schuli, the kind of driver who gets himself into a good position at the wrong time, as it were. He's got into the opportunity to fight for the points a little bit too late to do anything about it, really. He's still got a chance of a point or two from this race, but there's still going to be an interesting few laps to go before he gets to that stage. Right Kilk on the soft tyres, everybody else in the top 12 on mediums. And of course, you've also got Liam Duval there on softs, but something happened to him to bring him in a little bit deeper into the race. So Right Kilk in fourth position, still very much the dark horse for the victory, as it looks like it could be a fight between Rualt and Maguire. And we'll have to see how much time Gobby loses before he comes through for a chance of a podium.
Quick shout as well, all 27 drivers still in the race. So obviously we had a bit of a spin. Bit of a spin with Spork and Guy, and obviously turned lap one with a bit of an issue with Lino. But yeah, all 27 cars running as intended. So good stuff from the boys in the top series.
And there we were at the start of the race talking about high attrition rates. There we were talking about it for those 11 cars that were on 30%. Maybe they can go the distance without issue.
Wow. There's 16 laps left, mate. There's plenty of time.
I've said it now. Dear, oh dear. Let's talk about something else. Quick, change the subject. Lauren Kiersmackers battling away with Matthias Mus for 9th position as Adam Maguire gets closer again to Stefan Rualt through the first corners. So in the slow stuff, Maguire is able to get very close indeed to Stefan Rualt, but it's that acceleration and that top speed from Rualt that just keeps him away from danger. As into the pit lane, that is Lauren Kiersmackers. So he is the first of the next round of pit stops, it seems.
Yeah, he's going to be trying. Kilk's in as well. Kilk in as well. So interesting. So Kilk goes on to mediums. I'm surprised by that. I'm genuinely quite surprised by that. But okay. Oh my goodness me. Okay. So that's Erasmus Schuli passed him. I thought I was very close on the pit exit. But yeah, surprised. I am surprised he's come in for a set of mediums. But
well,
fair
perhaps Kilk going on to mediums to play devil's advocate because he can push like hell on the mediums. He might have had to look after the tyres perhaps a little towards the end on the softs.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what's happening to Pascal and Gobby, because their pace is nowhere near where it should be. I mean, they're still slower than the front runners, and they're on fresher tyres. So yeah, I mean, we did say at the start, I mean, like I said, I did think that the free stop was going to win. I still think the free stop's going to win. But I did think that Rualt and Maguire were going to have to do some overtaking on track, but I don't think they're going to have to. I think they might be able to get away with without having to overtake someone on track. Frylock might be in a bit of trouble, but he's about 3 seconds back. But
I think you're right, because here we go. Maguire, look, they're responding because they know that Kilk is the danger man here. They know that Kilk is the danger man. If they go now, then Maguire is definitely going to get out ahead of Right Kilk because he was 36 seconds back.
Maguire's going for the undercut. So Maguire, so he knows he can't overtake him on a straight. He's going for the undercut. He's going to have an absolutely mega outlap and hope he doesn't come out in traffic. But here he goes into the pit lane. On goes some fresh medium tyres. This is his only chance, I think.
Yeah, sensible move to go mediums. While he would have been faster on the softs, it would have been touch and go as to whether he could make them last if he needed to battle with Stefan Rualt. So that was the right call to go on to mediums from my money for Adam Maguire. He can now really go hell for leather on these tyres. He's got out well clear of Right Kilk, so he's no longer a factor for the victory. So this is Maguire's chance to really get one over on Stefan Rualt. Rualt needs a qualifying lap now.
Yeah, he needs to. I mean, he's come out in bits of traffic, but I say a bit of traffic, he can overtake him by the time he gets to the hairpin. In fact, anything he's going to be helpful. He's going to get some DRS. He'll be affected a little bit by dirt air where he is now in the S's, but it won't be that much. But yeah, Rualt, he responds. He does a personal best Sector 1 in response to that. Sector 2 is a good one. It's decent. It's not his personal best, but it's a decent middle sector. But yeah, this is key. It's hammer time, as it were, for and like I said, he may have the top speed to fight back anyway. Phydox should be able to get clear, actually, of Duval and Gobi as well. So even Phydox is going to be in a good place for when he does pit as well.
Yeah,
but
we could
key
see
now. Rual, here we go. Is he going to pit?
We could see the mother of all race battles now between Stefan Rualt and Adam Maguire, because as you mentioned, on that back straight, Maguire is not as fast in a straight line as Stefan Rualt. So even if Maguire beats him out of the pit, Rualt could have him on DRS. So this could be the mother of all battles for victory. As Maguire closes up on Lalou, Rualt stops. Surely he's going to go medium as well to counteract Maguire, or does he go onto the soft?
Medium.
Yeah, he goes medium as well.
Oh, Phydox on softs though. He's feeling racy.
Here we go, bring it on. Fidek's got a chance to close up at the pit exit. Is Maguire going to beat Rualt to the first corner? Maguire's got him. Maguire's leapfrog past Rualt.
Quite easily as well, but the big I'm not worried about that now. I'm worried about Mr. Phydox. Oh, he's come out behind Liam. Oh, that's absolutely disastrous. But yeah, he's got fresh soft tyres. This is going to be a big race to the end now. If he can look after those tyres, well, he needs to get ahead of Liam first, but if he can look after those, he's got a good chance. Oh, this is getting spicy. Oh, it's Maguire's being blocked. Oh, I love it.
This is absolutely brilliant stuff as Maguire is being blocked by
it's contact.
Lalou. There is actually a little bit of rubbing between the two of them as Maguire tries to come around the outside of Yukapeka Lalou. Dive bomb on the inside. No, you don't. And he's backed him into Rualt. Rualt, as we know, has got good straight line speed, and this time he'll have DRS on him as well. Maguire vents his anger. What the heck are you playing at? Do you know who I am? I'm the world champion. And Maguire getting very frustrated, sat behind Yukapeka Lalou. And look who's back in the party. It's Stefan Rualt, and he's going to have DRS on Maguire. Maguire's going to have DRS on Lalou, but he's not close enough. This is going to be fascinating down the back straight. What can Rualt do? Maguire's got to go with Lalou. This could be very exciting down to the braking zone. They're absolutely married to the inside line. Rualt's got good straight line speed. They're going to meet the corner together. They both leapfrog Lalou. Rualt could get a good exit off the turn, side by side with Maguire. There's in between them, and outside Maguire cuts him off and drifts wide. Rualt's going to have another run to the first corner. Here comes Stefan Rualt as into the pits goes Lalou. Rualt's got a chance up to the first corner, goes left. That's where Maguire sends him, and that's it. Ding ding, round one, back to your corners.
Yeah, Fido gets past Caval as well, so you've got Fido on soft chasing these two. If Rualt can stay within DRS of Maguire there, and you saw how easily he caught him there on a straight. It's like a different class of car. It was so crazy, but yeah, you've got an interesting race now. So Fido's lost a little bit of time. He's about 4 seconds back, but obviously soft tyres. If he can make them work, there's no reason he cannot win this race. Gobi and Pascal now behind him on worse tyres. I think they're out of it. Kilk's having a cracking little race though, in 7th place at the moment. Probably going to end up about 4th, I think. Yeah, so 2 Box and Gorby. You can probably get Gorby as well, so he's looking in a good place. But yeah, big race, and now here we go onto the back straight nearly. Rualt gets a good exit here. He's got a very good chance, and he's been good on this corner all race. I've been watching him through this long right-hander onto the back straight. It's been great on there. He's had good traction, but now he's going to have DRS. Is he close enough to make a move?
I don't think he is. It's Box squared up in front. Maguire's there in 3rd. Rualt is in 4th position. Maguire desperately trying to break the toe, so he knows that Rualt is going to be a big threat. Rualt gets DRS. Maguire does not. Rualt's going to get very, very close, but does he have what it takes to storm up the inside? No, he has to think better of it. At the time they get to the hairpin, he might be trying to set him up ready for turn 1, though. Don't forget, they still have a chance. As into the pits comes the 27. Mr. Bock has decided it's time to pit in, so he hands the lead of the race over to his teammate, and it's going to be an interesting one now as Yannick Bock takes over the lead. Leon Bock pits in, but now it is Maguire versus Rualt for the victory, and ever closing in on them is David Fidek. The gap between them is about 5 seconds at the moment. Right, Kilk is still there in P6, so not far away. Gobby is between Fidek and Kilk. Pascal in 7th place. We're getting close to finding out who our top 6 drivers are, but the order is still yet to be decided as Stefan Rualt is going for broke after the reigning world champion.
So Fidek actually lost a couple of attempts on that lap. Obviously, Maguire and Rualt had the benefit of DRS. Maguire actually had DRS on the main straight as well, so he benefited from Bock Jr. pitting there. But yeah, huge stuff. Let's see if Rualt can save him. He's a little bit closer this time by, I would say. But obviously, he's got a couple of more corners to solidify his position. But yeah, Fidek's not catching him as quickly as I thought. He's a little bit faster in the first sector that time by. See what his middle sector time is. 27.9, 28.0. And following, yeah, that's 28.0, so it's a little bit slow in the middle sector, but yeah, he's starting to catch them slowly but surely. But here we go. Rural definitely closer this time.
Down onto the back straight. Rualt's definitely going to catch him by the time they get to the hairpin, but will he have enough road to make a slingshot move up the inside? That's going to be the key factor. He's absolutely eating the road, and which way is he going to go? He goes to the other side. Maguire tucks across, they bang wheels, and Maguire holds the inside line. Stefan Rualt has to concede. If he had gone to the inside, I think he would have nailed that.
He turned in too early. I think he turned in expecting Adam to be a little bit faster, I think, but yeah. Big error, I think, from Rual there. He turned in a bit early, bumped the sideboard as Bock Senior comes in from the lead of the race. So Adam Maguire now in the lead for the first time in his race, actually. Just think about that, Adam's actually not led a lap, I don't think, all race. So his first lap in the lead. But yeah, Rual turned in, I think he turned in a bit early, blocked his side pod of Maguire there. Obviously, he affected his turn and had to steer back out, and I think he's lost him a bit of time. He's still within DRS, but a bit of a mistake. Maybe Rual's starting to get a little bit eggy, as actually Fired Up gains about 8 tenths on them that lap.
None of the drivers in the top 6 have won a race this year. It's worth pointing out, isn't it? Absolutely phenomenal how this season is currently kicking on. Dan Brewer is up into 8th position, and he has now got the 27 of Leon Bock in his sights. Dan Brewer could make the top 6 before this race is out. He is absolutely hammer and toe, the toughest guy on this grid, and he's having a great race, storming up towards the back of Leon Bock. He's got a good opportunity here as he hustles him around this corner. He's certainly going to have a chance down into the hairpin on the back straight. Speaking of down into the hairpin on the back straight, is Rural going to have another go at Maguire? And as they continue to battle away for position, they're going to lose ground, surely, to David Fidek. We've got 11 laps to go. He's too far back on this occasion to Maguire. I don't know what's happened to Rural there, but it's definitely unsettled him, that last maneuver. He's got to work onto the back of Adam Maguire all over again. Look back, and you can just about make out that David Fidek's car is getting bigger and bigger all the time.
So he didn't have DRS. He had a poor middle sector, lost 3 attempts in the middle sector, and ended up losing DRS. So that is why he's actually got it back. He's got it back for this first straight. But yeah, Maguire's obviously better in the twisty stuff. Rural has to do some laps, amazing laps of his life to try and get the win back. But I think, yeah, might have to look back on that overtaking attempt and think maybe I could have done a little bit better. But yeah, similar to lap time from Fidek that time as well. So Fidek's going fast and slow, fast and slow. I don't know if he's going to catch him, but yeah, he's very, very good chance for third today.
Lap 47 of 56. 10 laps remaining, and there's still plenty of juicy battles that are going to take place in the next few minutes, because this will be one heck of a battle. We've got Dan Brewer chasing down Leon Bock, and we've got Stefan Rualt trying to snatch the win away from Adam Maguire. David Fidek is 5 seconds back on soft tyres, trying to make them last, because if he gets a chance, he might be able to slipstream his way past Maguire and Rualt before the end of this race is up and grab a victory. But the man in 4th place, forever, the consistency from Fabrizio Gobbi, has put himself into such a strong position here to continue to have a strong lead in this championship fight. Right, Kilk is going to try and snatch that 4th place away from him before the race is out. Robin Panzar sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:33.0. So Robin Panzer, obviously after his earlier spin, trying to make hay while the sun shines in 26th position. Here we go. Dan Brewer on Leon Bock down the straight. And Bock is going to have DRS on Pascal. So things could get pretty tasty when we get to the hairpin. Bock's going to get Pascal before he gets caught by Brewer into the inside apex. Nicely done from Leon Bock into P6. And now Brewer will line up the man in red and blue.
Yeah, I thought Brewer may be trying to cheeky and get up the inside there, but not quite. I think Pascal knows the game is up. It's a good strategy. I think it was a good idea to go for it, but I mean, he just hasn't quite had enough pace to make it work. But yeah, I mean, still 8th place after if Dan does get past him, which would be a big if. And good stuff from the NDR boy today. But
yeah, they can hold their head up high today, can't they? As a team, they really have done a great job.
Yeah, I mean, front row start, their first ever in Super League. They're going to potentially get their first top 10 in Super League. Maybe a little bit more pace. Maybe if he'd done the free stop, if he'd followed everyone else, maybe even be further up the grid. But yeah, absolutely hold his head up high. I think they've done a great job today.
The right Kilk is closing in on Fabrizio Gobbi. We could have another interesting battle stepping up in a couple of minutes, because we've got right Kilk absolutely eating up the road as he pursues the championship leader in 2021. Fabrizio Gobbi running in P4 at this moment in time. But Maguire versus Rualt, still very interesting indeed. But it's interesting because Rualt is now 1.4 seconds back from Maguire. I think that last battle has knocked Rualt's confidence. Maybe he took a tiny bit of damage, and that's upset the balance of his car. as Right Kilt gets ever closer to Gobby, and now Brewer is getting very close indeed to Pascal. Surely he's going to have a run to the hairpin on DRS alone.
Here goes
So what is Pascal going to do? Look, Pascal is just wanting to bring the car home in the points. He doesn't want any fisticuffs. He just wants to bring the car home in as good a position as he can get. He's not going to be the kind of person to ruin Dan Brewer's race just because he gets close to him in the braking zone, but that's perfectly fine and dandy as Right Kilt gets into 4th place on Gobby.
Yeah, nice easy overtake up the inside. Gobby knows he wasn't going to fight it, but good stuff there from Kilk, and now Bok and Brewer now going to be going after Gobby, and I think they've got enough time to get into the back of him and overtake him.
So that 49 of 56, that is 8 to go. Fidek is still 5 seconds adrift of Maguire in the lead of the race. Rualt is 1.3 seconds back from Adam Maguire. He's got to find something in the latter stages of this race. I guess he's got to hope that Maguire's tyres are going to burn out a little bit earlier, because Rualt obviously pitted a lap later than Adam Maguire. So maybe he's just trying to keep out of the dirty air, look after the tyres for a few laps, and then have another crack at him, because he'll know that Maguire's compounds will be weaker.
I think Adam's just got a higher wing setup. I think he's just better in the middle sector. I think that's what it is. I think he's just better in those first 2 sectors. Gets the gap he needs, and obviously DRS, yeah, okay, he loses a couple of cents in the final sector, but obviously because Rual's not close enough for the DRS, he's not gaining enough. I think Adam's undercut was one in this race, I think. I'm going to say it now. Unless he makes a mistake, or like I say, Rual does pull something out of his butt, I do think Maguire doing that undercut is one in the race.
So the big question now is, how big a factor can David Fidek hope to be in his race? It was a gamble to go on to the softer compound. They don't have, obviously, as much life left in them as the mediums do. Can he make an impression? Because the gap is down to 4.7-ish when they get to the hairpin, but then it comes back up to 5 seconds by the time they go for any apex. He's not actually gaining as much time on Maguire as we like to have thought he might have done. Has he got a bid for second in him?
Like I said, it was a big gamble. I'm surprised he went for it, and I was expecting him to go a bit harder, if I'm honest. I thought he'd have had to go a lot harder if he wanted to catch him. Maybe he thought maybe okay, maybe I can't quite make it work on this, and he's just. I mean, at the end of the day, third place, he's going to be absolutely chuffed with third, isn't he? I mean, at the end of the day,
that will feel like a win. That will feel like a win for Fidek.
If anything, I mean, he maybe said it. He might even. I'll tell you what he'll say. He'll say, if I went a bit more aggressive, I could have won this race, but. A third place for him is a win. I mean, if he'd gone to mediums, it'd have been the same thing. So, I mean, it's always worth a gamble. I mean, third place, I mean, he's 7 seconds clear of Kilk, and he's faster than Kilk, so there's no. I don't think there's any threat from behind. So yeah, I mean, fair play for the gamble. I mean, it's probably the only chance he had to win this race, but he'll say, if I was a bit more aggressive, I could have done this. And I know what he's like. He'll be gutted to have not won. I mean, third place amazing, but I don't think he's got the tyre in him to get a assault on second and first. I don't think, unfortunately.
If you told any armchair enthusiast that 27 cars started the race and 27 cars finish it, they would go, hang on a minute, that sounds a bit dull. You don't know Grand Prix Virtual World Championship like we do. It's been absolutely nail-biting right from the get-go, and we are on lap 50 of 56. These guys have been pushing it tooth and nail from the off. We've even seen a couple of battles, some contact, a little bit of thrills and spills and argy-bargy along the way, but somehow they have all kept it running, and they are still giving it 10 tenths. It's wonderful to watch as we come across the line. The gap between Maguire and Rualt at the line, 9 tenths of a second. So Rualt's starting to step it up, or is Maguire starting to crack under the pressure? Getting very interesting now as Maguire has lost a bit of ground to Stefan Rualt.
Yeah, he had a very poor final sector, lost 4 tenths in the final, because I thought myself, I think Rualt might be close enough for DRS, and he was onto that straight. So I think he'll probably lose it again, going through the twisty bits. But yeah, not a big mistake, but it must have been a slide or something from Maguire to lose that time in the hairpin. Jade needs DRS, but yeah, here we go.
Fastest lap of the race on the last lap from Liam Duval. So Liam Duval sets the fastest lap of the race as he closes up on Jukka-Pekka Lalu, who's been right in the centre of the action for some of the right reasons, but certainly it got pretty tasty at one point between Maguire and Rualt with Jukka-Pekka Lalu involved. He's just trying to stay in the points for the Scuderia Basilia squad. His teammate Germano Zappala in 10th place. That crazy undercut didn't quite work out in the end for Zappala. I think he reckoned without the aggression of Yannick Bock, but he certainly took it to them today, didn't he? It was a good effort from Zappala.
Oh, 100%. As actually, I just realised Gobby's actually managed to stay with Kilt quite nicely. Gobby's actually picked the pace back up now. 34.3 his best of the race last time by. He's got to defend from Bock and Brewer behind him, but yeah, he's actually managed to get back into DRS zone of Kill can start to put pressure on him. Good stuff from Gobby.
See, this is what wins championships for Fabrizio Gobbi, just keeping himself in the hunt. Here comes Bok. He's now going to have to defend, move to cover. Well done from Gobbi. That's fine. Absolutely no issues with that.
Oh, scared me, but yeah. I think Bulk's probably caught a little bit unawares by that. Gobby, I'm not sure if he was having a look at Kilgore if he was defending. I think it might have been a bit of both there, but yeah.
I think he was defending. I think he realised, you know what, if I lose this position to Bok, I'm not only going to lose to him, I'm going to lose to Brewer, and I could really do with keeping in 5th place. So now he's got to go on the offensive. He's got to go after right Kilk and hope that he'll have enough grip in the tyres, not only to sustain the overtake over these last 5 laps, but start to stretch out a little bit over Bok and Brewer, so that by the time they get right Kilk, Gobbi will already have a few car lengths.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, Gobby's the one who's on the worst tyres out of the bunch, isn't he? But like I said, he's always been very good on these tyres. So I imagine they're probably similar wear rates. But nice tasty battle here for 4, but actually no 5 cars. Yannick Box now joined the tyre, and Yannick's actually on the soft compound tyre as well. So he's looking very, very lovely for an attack if should we get close enough. As I'll tell you what, Rua's a bit closer this time. Has he got? If
Yannick Bok manages to work his way past this traffic and get into 4th place, he's got to be a candidate for the championship leader, doesn't he? He won't be far away from it.
Yeah, Maguire might have something to say about that, but it'll be between those two and Gobbi. Yeah, definitely, it'll be a very close three-way battle at the top.
So Maguire is now definitely being hunted by Stefan Rualt, who gets within the DRS zone again. So did Maguire push so hard that those tyres are starting to grain a little early, because Rualt, of course, has 1 lap fresher tyres, and all that defending, all that attacking in the early phase. Perhaps Maguire has got himself track position, but has now got a bit of a mission in these last 4 laps to keep these tyres alive, because that gap has come right down to 0.7 of a second again, and he may have been the stronger driver in the middle sector. If those tyres are starting to fall from the cliff because of the urgency to get past Route initially, it could be tricky as Gobbi goes for a broke around the outside. Can he make the same move he made earlier? And right, Kilk, he's going for it on the worst tyres of the bunch, and he's done it nearly. Oh, such a good effort from Gobbi. Kilk holds the position, but Fabrizio Gobbi's still willing to roll those sleeves up and give it gung-ho.
Yeah, he's put himself under pressure though for this. Oh, okay, he hasn't gone for it. Surprised with that. It's actually, look at that. Yannick tries to go on the outside down into the hairpin. Doesn't quite make it work. But yeah, Gobbi, I think he puts himself under unnecessary pressure there. I think he'd be better off waiting for this for the straight. But oh, look at this. Rual's definitely in DRS zone this time. I was going to say,
I think we've had an issue in Sector 1. Ragusa might have lost a couple of places there. So Ragusa
Spork's red as well. I think he might be out.
Oh, it's such a shame. So Colin Spork...
Oh, no, he's in the pits.
So Spork is in the pits rather than out of the race. He wants to get...
Oh, here we go. Rualt's got DRS.
So here we go. Rualt on DRS on Maguire. This could be the move for the lead. We need to get back to the front of the field pretty quickly. Rualt's got the opportunity. Maguire cuts across. Tries to break the toe. Rualt goes deep. Goes round the outside. Can he hold it? Rualt gets his nose stuck in there. He's still got a chance in the final bend. Maguire trying to squeeze him. Rualt needs to throw this up the inside and hope that Maguire won't cut him off. Maguire goes wide. Rualt's still going to have DRS. They're going to be side by side again. And Rualt might be able to get there before the braking zone. Rualt's got him. Stefan Rualt takes the lead with 3 laps to go.
What a move. He was planning that, wasn't he? He knew he didn't want to go up the inside. He thought, right, I'm going to push him to the inside. I'm not going to lie, I didn't think he'd get the good cutback he did. I didn't think he'd be able to hang around the outside. What made that move was him staying around the outside of the hairpin.
Meanwhile, we've got Yannick Bok. He's made the move on Dan Brewer, so he's got through to 7th position. So we managed to grab the lead, Stefan Rualt on Adam Maguire with a beautiful overtaking move. And now there is a good chance. Meanwhile, Maguire and Rualt having that little fisticuffs. Have you seen how close Fidek is? He's now half the gap back. He's only 2.7 seconds. If those two lose complete grip in these last couple of laps, Fidek might just be able to snatch it. If he's looked after the tyres enough, Fidek could still have a crack at the victory. There's 3 laps to go. Anything could still happen.
Well, if he does, his tyre wear is absolutely out of this world, isn't it, really? But yeah, he's taking time out of him. His tyres look a bit worn, but who knows? Like I said, 2.5 seconds back now. Gaining all the time as well. Adam's not, look, here we go. Adam's going to have the DRS, and he's just not got any speed in him at all. Crazy, but yeah, Rual, I mean, if we can get a replay of that move, that'd be amazing, Argo, because I'd love to talk you all through it. But him staying on the outside of that hairpin and keeping it there is what got him that thing. Me and Adam couldn't move across, couldn't take his racing line normally. He didn't force him wide. It's all his own doing, Adam's own doing. Go wide.
Bok on Gobbi, and Gobbi doesn't even fight it. He lets Neon Bok go there for 5th position. I think he's assigned himself to the fact that he's just trying to get as many points out of this battle as possible. There's no point trying to kill those tires any further. 2 to go. And yeah, I agree. I'd love to see that one more time with feeling. Yellow, sector 3. Not sure who it is that's gone, but certainly we had a brief yellow flag there.
Oh, it's Francesconi. Francesconi has gone boom, boom, boom.
Okay, so we did lose somebody before the end of the race. Francesconi out. And, well, it's literally the closing stages of this race. And Michael Francesconi is out with just 2 laps remaining. So Rualt and Maguire still battling for the victory. Fidek is 3 seconds back, roughly. 2.7, 2.8 if you want to be picky. But he still has a good chance of being there when the musical chairs give him a chance to sit down. Because Fidek has soft tyres, but will he make them last? That's the thing. Rualt and Maguire, stalemate between these two again in first and second. Maguire now has to be the hunter rather than the hunted. But Rualt has definitely knocked the race leader's confidence, the former race leader's confidence with that one. Colin Spork, new fastest lap, another yellow in the sector there as Francesconi out of the race. Let's have a replay. Right, we've got the replay. This is the move that Stefan Rualt pulled off on Maguire. Tom Parker, talk us through it.
So we're going to join him on the exit. Look at this, obviously massive top speed. Look, so he goes to the outside. And I thought here, right, he's going to brake early, he's going to go for the undercut. But what he does here, look, you can see, stays on the outside, and I don't know how he's done it, but he's managed to stay on the outside, but enough so that Adam can't move over and defend his line. So he's thought, right, I've got to take the inside, take the racing line. Okay, he's missed it because he can't turn in his normal point. He goes wide. Oh, great. And the best part was, Stefan, he kept DRS. He's got a better run, he's got DRS, job done. Easy peasy, he knew he was going to do it. I mean, him staying on the outside of the hairpin was what got him that place. What a move.
Exemplary.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe what a move.
Absolutely exemplary from Stefan Rualt. And we go into the last lap with a man who knows he has stolen an incredible victory away from the reigning world champion. Yellow in sector 2. Someone has had an incident there. I think we might be seeing a few drivers now dropping. Lucchini's now gone. So Lucchini is now out of the race as well. The last few stragglers who have tried to make their engines go the distance might be going pop on this last lap as Fabrizio Gobbi now tries to defend from Dan Brewer because Yannick Bock has got into 6th position past Gobbi and Brewer now. So Gobbi might just be able to hang on to 7th place before the end. I don't see having one final charge at Rualt on that back straight. But what an incredible race it has been from Stefan Rualt. He has been one of the stars of this weekend. Pole position, but it was never as easy as just coming into the race and taking it. He had to go up against the reigning world champion to make it count. Stefan Rualt is going to come home in fantastic style out in front. Let's pick him up on the run to the flag. Stefan Rualt and the Holland Racing team can be absolutely ecstatic as out of the final turn, Stefan the Chinese Grand Prix in the Grand Prix Virtual World Championship Superleague 2021, and there has never been a more satisfying victory for Stefan Rualt. That one will mean the world to him.
If you told me he was going to win, I would have laughed. Fair play, what a win, what a drive.
And David Fidek in 3rd position. That is going to feel like he's won the World Championship all over again.
He won't be happy, he'll be gutted he'd come 3rd. I told you, he'll be gutted. Just to say, Brewer did get past Gobbi at a hairpin on the last lap, so 7th and 8th was changed over. There was a big battle as well, and missed it for the final point position, 15th to down to like 24th. Right close to each other. I think obviously the guys are still coming across the line, but yeah, good stuff. I mean, so who we got now? So Jukka Kalali comes 14th, Mashuli 15th. Simcic missing out on points. That's absolutely mental. But Gobbi and Pascal, shout out to them. 8th and 9th on the two-stop strategy. Like I said, I don't think the two-stop was as strong today, but they made it work enough to get some good points, so well done to them. But yeah, like I say, if you told me Stefan was going to win, I'd have laughed. But no disrespect to Stefan, but I think I think even he would admit there's some drivers here who can outpace him. But yeah, wow. And the way he did it as well, with an on-track overtake and having to do it properly, just yeah, well done. I'm shaking my head. I just can't believe it. What a race.
That is how to win a Grand Prix in the GPVWC. You do it with style, you do it with passion, and you definitely do it with flair. Stefan Rualt takes the victory in front of Adam Maguire and David Fidek. Wright Kilk solid in 4th place ahead of the Bock brothers, Leon and Yannick. Dan Brewer in 7th place. What a fight back from the back. Fabrizio Gobbi, championship leader in 8th place. Christian Pascal and Matthias Mus in 10th position. That was an epic battle at the front end. 11th place for Germano Zappala from Lauren Kiersmackers. Liam DeWild will be disappointed with 13th. Jukka-Pekka Lalu picks up 2 points. The final point goes the way of Eros Mashuli. then Jenic Semencic, Thomas Vach, Federico Russo, Giuseppe Ragusa, and a rather disgruntled Flo Gaia, dropping to 20th by the finish after his earlier problems. Maciej Mlinek and Dan Stepkowski. Colin Spork obviously tangled with Gaia. Robin Panzar had that earlier spin. Giuseppe Lino was the last man home. Finally succumbing to the mechanical gremlins in the closing stages, Mirko Lucchini and Michael Francesconi couldn't quite finish the job. But what a sensational Chinese Grand Prix. And we do indeed have 3 different winners from the first 3 races. 2021 Super League is going to be a nail-biter through to Brazil.
Oh, flipping heck. I'm tired after that. And like you said, there was a great battle at the front, but there was great battles everywhere, wasn't there? I mean, Kilk, in the battle for 4th with Bok, Brewer, Gobby, Pascal, Bok. Oh, there was a battle everywhere. And just, wow, what a race. Just everywhere. And there's always something going on. And there was plenty of overtaking. And there was strategies. And this is why I love sim racing. This race has proven you can have a clean race. You can have a fun race. Strategy, overtakes, DRS. You don't even need DRS half the time. Oh, wow.
Yep.
I'm still shaking my head.
Yeah, that's how it's done. Sometimes you get a really, really beautiful race, and sometimes you get that race. It just gets an extra little bit of bolt out of the blue. Absolutely sensational stuff. Really exciting battles all the way through. Stefan Raut stealing a victory from the world champion in the closing stages. David Fidek reminding us all what he can do when the chips are down, and he has a good car underneath him. We're going to hear from him, and hopefully from Adam and Stefan too. Let's hear from the man in 3rd position, David Fidek. Welcome back to the rostrum. It may have been a while, but we have been keeping the seat warm for you. That must feel like a victory.
Oh my god, I was sweating. It feels so good, man. Everyone else will probably laugh at me, but this feels so good. First one since 2017. Oh my god!
Welcome back to the big show, buddy.
Yeah.
Talk us through the race, because there were times when you were genuinely looking good for the win. Never mind a podium.
Yeah, that's what we were pushing for. Well, like I said to you on Discord earlier about quali, if I got that lap, I think I was on for a lap on my 2nd lap for pole, and I messed up the last corner. But yeah, the race, the first stint was, I chewed through the tyres. I had a pit so early, I think it was lap 10. And the second stint, I got dragged away from the DRS of Adam, and that basically decided the race because I had to use more tyre to try and keep with them. And that ended up falling away at the end of the stints. The last stop, the last stop, I went a lap extra, so I was right in the cliff. It was slow, but it gave me the option to go onto softs, and I closed in a couple of seconds. It wasn't enough, but I wasn't going to just let it go without trying, so yeah. Oh, we're back.
I think we're all delighted for you, David. Tom, any final question?
I was saying in commentary, I bet your gut you didn't win. But
Yeah.
So was it always a plan to go on softs, or was that a late change to go to softs at the end? Because I mean, we were saying on commentary, I thought you were going to be a bit more aggressive on the softs, maybe try and get up to them, maybe affect that cliff, or was it always going to be a softs and then just hope and pray?
The original plan was 3 stints on softs, but yeah, the first stint there was so much dirty air, and I had massive wheel spin off the line. I had a pit so early, so I had a double stint of mediums. But yeah, once we got the clean air and we were guaranteed to come out the fast, stopping ahead of Gobi, I think. Yeah, we went for the softs and tried to go for it.
Brilliant. David Fidek, it is great to have you back in the rostrum. Well done. Let's hope for a few more of those this year. Great job.
It's been 4 years. Ask me more questions. I'm not going nowhere.
I wish we had. Well, stay with us, because unfortunately we're short for time. So we've got to crack on. Adam Maguire, let's grab the world champion. Adam Maguire, 2nd position. What a showdown. That is what GPVWC Super League is all about. Your first proper crack for the victory here in China for a while. Talk us through, because that was so nail-biting.
Yeah, that was a really frustrating race. I was pretty much tire saving kind of behind Stefan the whole race, and I kind of knew his wings were just crazy on the back straight, so I knew I couldn't even pass him on track. So it was undercut in the second stint, at the end of the second stint, undercut or nothing, because it's the only way I can get by. And then I realized once I undercut him, basically I was using too much of my rears, and kind of the exact same story as Brian, where I needed a tire save and had to go up the pace a bit, and yeah, Stefan got by. But I'm really happy for Stefan. I'm really, really happy for him.
Astonishing performance. Tom, you must have a question for Adam.
Yeah, which one do I ask? I'll keep it to one. But yeah, I mean, so was it a last minute decision to undercut on Stefan? Obviously, you pitted a lap earlier, got out ahead of him. Was that a last minute decision, or was that always the plan, just to try and do opposite with him?
So I was always going to be. The first stint I pitted and I forgot to request pit, so I lost 2 seconds. So I lost my undercut basically, and then I kind of messed us up for the second stint. And I guess I knew I had to undercut him again, but I think I got stuck behind Lalu. He was defending quite aggressively, and yeah, it kind of messed me up quite a lot. So that probably did change the race result, maybe. But yeah, no, Stefan was just better today.
It was an amazing race. We absolutely loved it. We were. I've got no nail left on my fingers. I'm nearly down to the bone, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Thanks, Adam. Let's grab up with the race winner, Stefan Rualt. I mean, where do we start? Pole position is one thing in a field like this, but to sustain it to the victory in such a magnificent style, you must be out of puff.
Yeah, for 2 reasons. One, I'm still a bit under the weather, so I was sweating a lot. But that was an intense race together with Adam, the whole race up front. Amazing, just to drive against the championship, the champion from last year, and be up front from.
So the one question I've got to ask is that move, the one that we saw from you on lap 54. I mean, just how confident were you that you could hold it to the outside line of the hairpin and actually get him in? Because there was no contact at all between you. It was so tight. There were millimeters, and you just psyched each other out.
I had to try because I knew that he would have more traction, but his rear were a little bit going, and I knew that in the last turn he would not budge. He would not leave me room. So I was happy to just get a good run on the straight, and then with my top speed, I could get him just before turn 1.
Fantastic, Tom. Final question for you for Stefan.
Did you panic? I mean, the first question. When you saw Adam come out in front of you, did you panic at all, or did you think I can still do this? Obviously, you had the first move, and then you bopped his side pod a little bit, and I thought, oh no, you might have lost a chance to win this. And then obviously you got back onto it and won. So did you panic at all when you didn't make that first move and when he came out in front of you, or did you still think, no, I can still do this?
There were a lot of thoughts going through my head, but one of them was that I changed to another strategy last minute. So I went on mediums instead of softs on the last stint when I saw that he pitted up for mediums and undercutted me. So I knew that I had some more tires left to fight him. So I wasn't that worried, but already on P2 I would have been happy. It's my first podium in Super League, so I'm really, really happy with this result.
Well, I'm going to say you deserved it. I was screaming my head off in Pommern. I don't know. You got to watch it back. We were loving it. It was great. Really, all three of you.
It was mighty. It was
all three of you. Really, really well done.
Stars of the show for many, many different reasons. Guys, David Fidek, Adam Maguire, Stefan Rualt, worthy podium. Absolutely fantastic. Congratulations to you all. We'll see you in 2 weeks in India.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
May I say, that is why we get up and we go to work and then we settle in for a very, very nice evening in front of GPVWC. That's what motor racing is supposed to be about. Tom Parker, what a fabulous, fabulous spectacle. And we get to do it all again 2 weeks from now as we return to Bud.
My heart is still beating really quickly from that race. But yeah, like I said, Bud in 2 weeks. We've got more overtaking opportunities there. New track for everyone to learn. But yeah, what a race. Do you know what? I'm going to say it. That's probably the best race I've ever commentated on, ever, in GPV. I've commentated on a lot, and that is easily the best.
I would say that's definitely up there as the ultimate GPVWC Super League race I've ever commentated on, which makes it the best sim race I've ever commentated on. Absolutely spot on from our 3 drivers. 3 different winners from the first 3 races. Liam Duval, Yannick Bock, and now Take Bow, Stefan Rualt. I will be back with you on GPVWC a week from now when we head to Bud in India for the Super Cup race. We will be back in 2 weeks from now for the Super League. Tom Parker, my pleasure as always. And final word from you.
Yeah.
That's a good enough word.
The top 3, amazing. Shout out to Dan Brewer, starting last, finishing 8th. 7th, sorry, to plus 20. Right, Kill, the 2 stoppers who did a great job. and like I said, we had one retirement, I think, and that was like 2 laps from the end, and that's because of an engine that was always going to be a bit close anyway. It's just, yeah, what a race! Bring it on.
Thank you, Tom Parker. 3 different winners from the first 3 races. India returning in 2 weeks' time. Nobody knows who the title contenders are going to be. To coin a phrase from Will Smith, that's how you're supposed to drive. From now on, that's how you drive. I'm Jake Sanson. Good night.